and play here at Riviera, where basically it all started. So I'm excited to get out there and play tomorrow and get a nice little taste and feel for it. A little bit colder than I thought. So I'll get used to that and get ready for Thursday.
Before we take questions, you mentioned where it all started back in '92. You hit that opening tee shot. Everybody saw that video. It's everywhere. Just when you look at now and the young kids from your foundation being involved, can you just talk to the progression of your foundation and the situation where it is now?
Yeah, just to have some of our attendees of our learning lab to be able to come out here and experience this and to see how their lives have been impacted because of this event, because of the support from Genesis and everyone here, the media and all of our STEM programs all benefit from this event. And to have the kids that have watched this event, have been through our STEM programs, to be able to have the ability to come out here and look at the best players in the world play golf, but also showcase, what their confidence and what they have developed into, and some of the conversations that I know some of the players have had with our past attendees from the Learning Lab. It's incredible. It's inspiring.
Terrific. Okay, we'll just make sure that everybody, if you have a question, just raise your hand, and we'll try and get through as many as we can. We'll start with Jeff in the back.
Tiger, two things. Could you just a little more specificity on the what it is physically that you needed to kind of overcome to be able to play? And then on a lighter note, LeBron breaking the scoring record last week. I'm curious if you have thoughts on that and any golf record that's sort of an equivalent of the regular season points title.
Okay. As far as the recovery is more of my ankle, whether or not I can recover from day to day. The leg is better than it was last year, but it's my ankle. And so being able to have it recover from day to day and meanwhile still stress it, but have the recovery and also have the strength development at the same time. It's been an intricate little balance that we've had to dance, but it's gotten so much better the last couple months, and I'm excited to go out there and compete and play with these guys. And I would not have put myself out here if I didn't think I could beat these guys and win the event. That's my mentality, and if I wasn't ready to win at this level, I am very rusty. But I've come off rusty situations before, and I've done well, and I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics in practice. And build up, and plus also I know this golf course. I know I haven't had a lot of success on this golf course, but I knew what to practice for, shots to hit when I was at home getting ready. And as far as the LeBron record, it's what he accomplished is absolutely incredible, of just the durability, the consistency, and the longevity. I never thought, I grew up watching Kareem here. I never saw him play at Milwaukee, but he was the Cap. That's all I remember, the Showtime Lakers, and watching Cap run down there with the goggles and hitting the sky hook, and that record we never thought would be surpassed. But what LeBron is doing, but also the amount of minutes he's playing, no one's ever done at that age, and what he's done, and be able to play all 5 positions, and that's never been done before, and then at this level for this long. And then as far as our equivalent to that, I don't know, maybe you look at maybe me and Sam at 82. It takes a career to get to those numbers, and that's how I think probably is best how you look at it.
Go to this mic here.
Hi, what did the PNC tell you about the state of your game and how to impact your prep for playing in another event?
As you watched at PNC, I was able to play out the cart and hit shots and do whatever I wanted, but I just had the endurance in my ankle. And so we've been working on that and getting it to where I can still hit shots, but it's the walking endurance it's hard. That's something that we've had to work on and walk on distances, the beach, and just basically stress it out. but also be able to recover by the next day and see how it is inflammation-wise, and then keep practicing. And I may have overdone it a couple times here and there, but here I am.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Tiger. Being from Norway, I just had to ask you about a guy who has done really well at your events, Victor Hovland. He's done well here. He's done really well at Bahamas. Just your thoughts on him as a player and as a person, and how far he can go.
The sky's the limit for Victor. The way he drives it, he doesn't really have any weaknesses in the game. I mean, initially it was probably his short game and putting, but that's turned around. He's done some really good work with that. But just the way he strikes the golf ball, I know he's not one of the longer bombers out there, but you just look at how many fairways he hit and how many good iron shots he hits. That's going to take him a long way. And then his fitness, I mean, he works very hard at getting explosiveness and endurance, and he's able to play. And I think he's just getting started, and the sky's the limit for him.
Okay, we'll go to Kira in the back row.
Hi, Tiger. You just said that you wouldn't tee it up in the tournament if you didn't think that you could win. From the PNC until now, could you just take us through your lifestyle and your day-to-day to actually get yourself to that point where you can sit here and confidently say that?
I hit balls basically almost every day. I chip and putt, and I got a neat little practice facility in my backyard, so I can do a little bit of short game work there and a little bit of progression. And I've gone up to Medalist and hit balls, and I've walked the golf course and I've played. And then I'll hop in a cart when it gets a little tired. And then it's just gone from a few holes to 9 holes to the back 9, and then to 18 holes, and go back home, practice. So it's just a build-up, and it has built up fantastic to get to this point. And then after this event, we'll analyze it and see what we need to do to get ready for Augusta.
We'll go to Jim in the back, and then we'll get that mic up the front.
Yeah, Jim Hill, good. How are you, man? Good to see
I'm
you
very
again.
good, Jim.
Good to see you. You've always had a thirst for knowledge, whether it is about golf or just the game of life. What have you learned about yourself over the last year since your accident that maybe you didn't know before?
Well, I think that I've had an incredible support staff and people that have really have helped me get to this point. It's been hard physically, as we all know, but I've had just great people around me. My training staff has allowed me to get to this point. I've gotten stronger, more pliable. I've got more endurance. And then just the great friendships I've had, even on the tour. These guys texting me and egging me on, and the banter back and forth, and this incredible support. And I would never have gotten to this point and made it back to this point without their support.
Okay, then we'll go to Dan on this side.
Tiger, have you walked 72 holes 4 days in a row?
No.
And do you ever see a
This year?
Yeah.
No.
And then I know you've done it before. And do you see a scenario when it's not so touch and go, when you might be able to depend on the leg, or do you think that it will be this kind of day by day thing forever?
As I've been saying to you guys, I'm not going to be playing a full schedule, so I got to pick and choose my events and how many events I'm going to play. And I alluded to, last year it's going to be probably the majors and maybe a couple more. And would I like to play more? Yes. Will it allow me to? I don't know. And I have to be realistic about that. So being realistic about the recovery and the training and, sorry.
It's not me calling it.
Sorry, it's an alarm. My bad.
We've all done it.
It's just about I know I'm not going to be playing, a full schedule, and I got to pick and choose and what I'm going to be playing in, and it's very limited, and so I would put all my energy into those events.
Okay, we'll go to Todd right here.
Tiger, anticipating the Masters, it's going to be the first time that you're in a room, in a group with LIV players. Wondering what that anticipation is like for you as far as how you may handle it, what your demeanor is going to be when you're around them.
That's a great question because I don't know because I haven't been around them. Some of the players out here have, and for instance, Rory's at in Dubai, with some of those players, and I don't know. I don't know what that reaction is going to be. I know that some of our friendships have certainly taken a different path But we'll see when all that transpires. That is, still a couple months away.
Champions dinner may be uncomfortable. Would you anticipate it being uncomfortable?
Yeah, the Champions Dinner is going to be obviously something that's talked about. We as a whole need to honor Scotty. Scotty's the winner. It's his dinner. And so making sure that Scotty gets honored correctly, but also realizing just the nature of what has transpired and the people who have left, and just where our situations are, either legally, emotionally. There's a lot there.
Okay, we'll go to Ryan in the back.
Tiger, over the past month, Tom Brady retired. Now Aaron Rodgers is considering it. Different sports, obviously, but can you relate or understand their plight at all, where they're walking away not necessarily because their physical skills have diminished, but because they feel like they don't have anything more to give?
Yeah, I didn't think that I would. There was a touch and go where I'd be back after my back fusion. I didn't know if I was going to walk again after that, and I came back and had a nice little run. Same thing with this leg. I didn't know if I was able to play again, and I played 3 majors last year. So, yes, when you get a little bit older and you get a little more banged up, you're not as invincible as you once were, and that's just the reality of all of us just aging. Those are contact sports. I mean, I don't know how they've played, or Tom playing as long as he did, and the level that he played at was phenomenal. I mean, we just have to just look at him as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as a kid growing up watching John Elway speak and just cried that I can do it, but my body won't allow me to do it anymore. He won, the last 2 Super Bowls, but he just could not physically do it anymore. And I've gotten to that point a couple times where you kind of think about it. But in our sport, I mean, there's no contact. I don't have 300-pound guys fall on top of me. It's just a matter of shooting the lowest score. So we have the ability to pick and choose and play a little bit longer. And we've seen my hero Arnold Palmer, like all of us. Hell, he played in 50 straight Masters. Okay, 50 straight. I'm not even 50 years old yet, and he played in 50 straight Masters. And then you look at Gary Player, who played in the 51 Masters. I mean, we're different sports.
Okay, we'll go Doug and then Dylan.
Do you feel grateful to be here? To
Yes.
be able to play? Okay.
Yes.
I figured as much. But at what point in your career did you start to feel grateful to be out here? I'm not suggesting you ever took it for granted, but you know what I mean, injury-wise.
Probably, I've had some knee surgeries early on in my career, but nothing like what I experienced with my back. And when my back went, man, those were tough surgeries and tough rehabs, and I could power through, my knee and the meniscus and no ACL, and I could power through that, but I could never power through my back. And that's when I started realizing that the mortality of this game and just sports in general. And I didn't think I was immortal. That's what we all think as athletes. But there comes a point in time when a couple of my friends in the NFL was when you become afraid to get hit. You take that one little flinch of I don't want to get hit. Well, when I had my back, I didn't want to hit certain shots because I made it up on the ground, and so that was tough.
Second thing I wanted to ask about are expectations, which you can ignore, but they're still out there. So if you go back to like early 2000s, where if you went a month without winning, you were in a slump. Mm-hmm. The expectations were that great. To later in your career, where the expectations from some were you'd never win again. Mm-hmm. Which one do you enjoy hearing more?
Well, I look at that. Me personally, I looked at the fact that I haven't won in 3 years. So, there you go.
Dylan, go ahead.
Yeah, Tiger, we're a couple designated events into the new look PGA Tour, and I was just curious how you think it's going and how different you think it'll feel throughout the year.
Yeah, we've had 3 already, and I think it's been received. There's obviously mixed emotions. about it. But from a marketing side of it and from the tour side of it and the future of our sport, it's been very positive. And we need to keep going with it and keep staying aligned and keep progressing and making it better. We need to produce the best product we possibly can to sell to all the viewerships. And there's so many different distractions out there now. There's so many different options that you have now. And so it's about us creating the best product so that we have more eyes on it. We have more stars. People want to come out and either come out and watch the game of golf, participate, either on social media or the different streaming platforms. Just the fact that they're able to, watch our sport. So in order to do that, we have to create the best product, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mixed emotions. Have you gotten a chance to talk to guys that have different types of emotions?
Absolutely. It runs the gamut, and from top players to players who are, obviously have injuries, or the fact that you have guys are journeymen or back and forth. Yes, I've talked to the whole gamut, and as I said, there's mixed emotions. But at the end of the day, we're trying to create the best product, and how do we do that? That's what we're trying to do, and we're still figuring it out. And we have a lot of the top players that are aligned since the Delaware meeting, and we were trying to create that atmosphere of across the board and understand that players need to be able to have access and ability to play at these elevated events. And how do we do that? We want to create the next stars. I was lucky enough to get a sponsor exemption here at 16 years old. And so is that possible in that new model? We need to create opportunities like that. I look back and that I got lucky and I was able to play in this event. Byron Nelson asked me to play in his event. Arnold asked me to play in his event. So I got those opportunities very early in my career, and we don't want the next stars to not have those opportunities.
All right, we're going to go to the front here with Mark.
Tiger, is the plantar fasciitis an issue at all in the foot?
Yes.
As much of a?
No, it's not as much. No, but it's better.
Okay. And with the LIV talk kind of came to a head here last year. Looking back over the last year with what the PGA Tour has done, the things you just talked about, is LIV more of a threat, less of a threat?
Well, it's been a very, how can I say, the past year since, if you go back to this week at Genesis last year to where it's at now, we all have to say it's been very turbulent. We never would have expected the game of golf to be in this situation. But it is. That's the reality. And I was alluding to, you're trying to create the best product. Obviously, they're a competitive organization trying to create their best product they possibly can. And we're trying to create the best product that we think the future of the golf, how it should be played. How do we do that? We're still working on that. And we have so many of the top players that are aligned. And how do we support our world partners in the DP World Tour? We need to have our top players understand that we need to play around the world and, again, create the best product possible. And it's been ebb and flow. I mean, it really has. And it's been difficult. There's no lie. I mean, you've seen our ambassador, Rory, go through it. I mean, it's been tough on him. But it's been exceptional. He's been exceptional. Be able to go through all that. I've been with him on all those conference calls and his side meetings, and for him to go out there and play and win, it's been incredible.
We'll take one from Bob in the middle, and we'll cross that.
Tiger, along these same lines with the designated events, obviously this whole thing came together very quickly from last fall to now. A lot of things had to happen to make this work, the scheduling and everything. One of the things going forward that's being discussed, at least there's rumblings about, is making some of these limited fields, no cuts. It sounds like the invitationals would be on the docket for that. Where do you stand on that? And also, would you have a say in it for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all that out. I mean, it's been a variety of different models, different opinions, trying to figure out what is the best product and competitive environment and what we should do going forward. Yes, limited fields, what's the number? Cuts, yes or no? What's the number? What do we go to? How many players are playing the event? There is, okay, what is the ability to get into the designated events? Where does it, how is Jay able to sell our product to all the different sponsors across the board? There's so much give and take, and it's still ongoing. I mean, it really has. It's been difficult. A lot of the players have been very forthright, which is great. It's what it should be. We are a players-run organization, and so yes, we should have the voice and the ultimate say, but we're trying to help our commissioner create what he can sell so that all of us can benefit.
Okay, we've got time for 2 or 3 more. We've got Art lined up on the right here. Go on.
Going back to your first tournament here as an amateur, what are you thinking? Are you thinking, hey, I got in, I have to prove myself that I'm deserving of this, or are you just going out and just playing golf normally?
Well, there's a couple things I realized. Number one, I had never seen as many fresh range balls that were non-striped. Be able to hit those brand new blotto balls I normally would find in creeks and stuff and use in tournaments. And then come out here, and then when I shoot 72, 75-ish, somewhere in there, if I can remember. I was like 17 back of Davis. So I realized that, yes, there's a disparity and there's a gap. Could I have played a little bit better? Yes, I could probably have played 4 or 5 shots better, but I was not that good. And realized that I need to go back to high school golf and get better there, get back better at junior golf, hopefully play in a couple more events. I was alluding to that Mr. Nelson asked me to play in this event, Arnold asked me to play in this event, and so I was getting opportunities to kind of figure it out, where I need to go. And it allowed me to get better in the junior events, in the amateur events. I was able to have more success because I got the chance to experience what I needed to do out here, and pick their brains and watch how they went about their business.
Okay, we'll go on the left-hand side over here.
Tiger, you referenced Arnie and Gary playing 50-plus Masters. Is there any part of your competitive DNA that would allow you to enjoy?
Nope, I'm not playing that many, sorry.
But like,
Sorry.
is in tournament golf, is there,
Yeah.
you reference like the history of the game and the celebration people. If you're 60 and you don't wake up with the irrational belief, I can win this tournament, could you still enjoy any of it?
I have not come around to the idea of being, if I'm playing, I'm playing to win, okay? I know that players have played and they are ambassadors of the game and trying to grow the game. I can't have my mind, I can't wrap my mind around that as a competitor. If I'm playing in the event, I'm going to try and beat you. I'm there to get a W, okay? So I don't understand that making a cut's a great thing. If I enter the event, it's always to get a W, and there will come a point in time when my body will not allow me to do that anymore, and it's probably sooner than later. But wrapping my head around that transition and being an ambassador role and just playing and just trying to be out here with the guys, no, that's not in my DNA. Ambassador role and hosting events like this and hosting the Genesis Invitational or Hero and doing those type of things, I totally get it. But as a player, I flip the hat around and become a player. From a player standpoint, I'm here to get that W.
Okay, we'll take one more question. It'll be Ben right in the front here.
Tiger, when people write you off, how much of a motivational factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career, yes. But I don't think that it has been later in the middle part of my career and the backside of my career. It really hasn't. It was, honestly, can I actually do this still? As I was alluding to with Doug here, it's just that those back operations were tough. That proven it to myself more than anything that I could still do it. Starts at home, starts in practice, starts with guys, playing 18 holes, and then come here and having the belief that I can do it. And ultimately, it's within me, and I believe I can do it. And it's not the motivating factor of outside. It's certainly good, but not towards the later part of my career.
Yeah, Tiger, thank you for the time as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody, just say we'll have chances to Morgan and Mark Lewis momentarily. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, Tiger Woods, former host of the Genesis Invitational, as you'll know. Also, Tiger, we honor that your TR Foundation benefits from this week. But we're all curious to know what other aspects went into your decision of trying to, actually compete here this week.
I had the bus play, whether or not this body was or not, was the main question. And I've been, as I told some of you guys that were down at the Hero, and father son, I do the ranger thing, and so I can hit golf balls and do all that stuff. It's a matter of I have endurance in my leg, and we've been pushed pretty good, and been able to recover each and every day, which is great. So I'm excited to be able to eat and play here at Riviera where it's all started. So I'm excited to play and tomorrow and get a nice little taste and feel for it. A little colder now, so get that and get ready for Thursday.
Before we take questions, just mentioned we're all started back into the opening tee shot videos everywhere. Just when you look at now and young kids from your foundation being involved, can you look at the progression of your foundation and the situation where it is now?
Yeah, to have some of our attendees of our learning lab will come out here and experience this and see how their lives impacted because of this event. Because the support from Genesis and everyone here and the media and all our STEM programs all benefit from this event. And to have the kids that have watched this event have been through our STEM programs to be able to have the ability to come out here and look at the best players in the world play golf, but also showcase what their confidence and what they have built into. And some of the conversations that some of the players have had with our past attendees from the learning lab, it's incredible. It's inspiring.
Okay, we'll just make sure everybody, if you have a question, just raise your hand as we can. We'll start with Jeff in the back.
Tiger, two things. Just a little more specificity on what it is physically that you needed to kind of come to play. And then on a lighter note, LeBron from the scoring record last week. I'm curious if you have thoughts on that and a golf record that's sort of an equivalent of the regular season points title.
Okay. As far as the recovery, whether I can recover from day to day, the leg better than it was last year, but it's Michael. And so being able to have it recover from day to day and then meanwhile still stress it, but have the recovery and also have strength element at the same time. It's in an interesting balance of advance, but it's so much better the last couple months, and I'm excited to go out there and compete, play these guys. And I would not have put myself out here. I think I could beat this and win it. That's my mentality, and if I wasn't ready to win at this level, I'm very rusty. I've come off rusty situations where I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics in practice. And plus, also, I know this golf course. I know I haven't had a lot of success on this golf course, but I knew what to practice for. Shots to hit. I was at home getting ready. And as far as the record, he accomplished is it's incredible. It's just the durability, the consistency, and the longevity. I never thought. I grew up watching Green here in Milwaukee, but he was the cap. That's all I remember. The Showtime Lakers and watching Cap run down there with the goggles and hitting the sky hook, and that record we never thought would be surpassed. LeBron's way, but also he's playing numbers on that stage, and he's done in all 5 positions, and that's never been done before, and at this for this long. And then as far as our equivalent to that, I don't know, maybe if you look at me exam, they do. It takes career to get to those numbers, and that's how I think part of we look at.
For this mic here.
What did PNC tell you about the state of your game and how to impact your prep for playing in another event?
Yes, you said that. I was able to play part and hit shots and everyone, but I just had the endurance in my ankle, and so I'm working on that, and where I can still hit shots, but it's the walking, it's hard. That's something that we've had to work on and walk on. This is the beach and just basically stress it out, but I'll look for the next day and see how this information and keep practicing. And I may have overdone it a couple times here and there, but here I am.
Being from Norway, I just have to ask you about a guy who's done really well at Victor Hovland. He's done really well at Bahamas. Just your thoughts on him as a player and as a person and how far he can go.
This guy is a limiter, Victor. He tries it. He doesn't have any weaknesses in the game. Initially, probably his putting, but that's turned around. He's done something really good with that. Just the way he strikes the ball. I know he's not one of the longer ballers there, but you just how many fairways he hit and how many good iron shots he hits. That's going to take up a long way. And then his fitness. He works very hard at getting explosiveness and endurance to play. And I think he's getting started, and the sky's the limit for him.
Okay, we'll go here in the back row.
Tiger, you just said that you wouldn't tee it up in the tournament if you didn't think that you could win. From PNC until now, could you just go through your lifestyle, your day-to-day, to actually get yourself to that point where you can sit here and confidently say that?
I hit balls basically almost every day. I chip putt. I've got a neat little rack up ceiling on the backyard, so I can do a little bit of game work there and a little bit of progression. And I've got melts to hit balls. I've left the golf course and I play. And then I'll play. I'll hop a cart when I get a little tired. And then it's gone from a few holes to 9 holes to back 9, and then do 18 holes and go back home, practice. So it's just a build-up, and it has built up fantastic at this point. And then after this event, analyze it and see what we do to get ready for this.
We'll go to Jim in the back and we'll get that mic up
Good to see you. Very good, Jim. To see you. You've always had a thirst for knowledge about golf, or just game of life. What have you learned about yourself over the last year since you're active that maybe you didn't know before?
Well, I think that I've had an incredible support staff and people that have really helped me get to this point. It's hard physically, as you all know, but I've had this great people around. My training staff has allowed me to get this point. I've been stronger, more pliable, more turns. And then just the great friendships I've had. On the tour, these guys text me and hang me on, and the banter back and forth, and it's incredible support. And I would never have done this more than made back this one without their support.
Tiger, have you walked 72 holes 4 days in a row?
No.
And do you ever see a
this year? Yeah.
And do you see a scenario when it's not touching, when you might be able to depend on that? Do you think there will be this kind of day-by-day thing forever?
As I've been saying, I'm going to be playing schedule, so I can choose my events and how many events I'm going to play. And I alluded to last year, it's going to be probably the majors that may call more. And I'd like to play more, yes. Will it allow me to? I don't know. And I have to be realistic about that. So being realistic about the recovery and training and, whoop, sorry. It's not me. My bad. It's just about I'm not going to be playing, a full schedule, and I got to pick and choose and what I'm going to be playing in, and it's going to be very limited, and so I would put all my energy into those events.
Okay, we'll go to Todd Wright.
Anticipating the Masters, it's going to be the time that you're in a room, in a group with the players, wondering what that anticipation is like for you as far as how you may handle it, what your demeanor is going to be when you're around them.
That's great. I don't know if that happened. Some of the players out here have, and for instance, Rory's at in Dubai, with some of those players, and I don't know what that reaction is going to be. I know that some of our friendships have taken a different path, but we'll see when all that transpires. That is, still.
Champions dinner may be uncomfortable. Would you anticipate being uncomfortable?
Yeah, the Champions dinner is going to be obviously something that's talked about. We as a whole need to honor Scott. Scotty's going to his dinner, and so make sure that Scotty is honored correctly, but also realizing just the nature of what has transpired and people that we have left, and just where our situations are, either legally, emotionally. There's a lot there.
Okay, we'll get Ryan back.
Tiger, over the past month, Tom Brady and Rogers is considering it. Different sports, obviously. Can you relate or understand plight at all, where they're walking away not necessarily because their physical skill diminished, because they feel they don't have anything more to give?
Yeah, I didn't think I would. There's actually that back after my back fusion. I didn't know if I was going to walk again after that, and I came back and had this run. Same with this leg. I didn't know I was able to play again, and I played the 3 years last year. So, just a little bit over and over, just not as in as you once were, and that's just what I've always seen. Those are contact sports, and I don't know how they Tom played as long as he did, and the level that was phenomenal. I mean, we just have to just look at him as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as a kid growing up watching John Elway speak, and just cried that I could do it on my body while I made it more. When he lost Super Bowls, but he just could not physically do it anymore. And I've got that a couple times where you kind of think about an art sport. There's no contact. I don't have to pound guys fall on top of me. It's just a matter of shooting the score. So we have the ability to play a little longer, and we've seen my hero Arnold Palmer, like all of us, been 50 straight masters. 50 straight, not even 50 years old yet, and they played 50 straight masters. And you look at a player who's been 51 masters. I mean, they're different sports.
You feel grateful to be here? Yes. At what point in your career do you start to feel grateful to be out here? Not just over 2 grand, injury-wise.
Probably, I had some surgeries early on in my career, but nothing like my experience with my back. And my back went, those were tough surgeries and tough rehabs. And I powered through, the meniscus and no ACL, and I powered through that, but I couldn't power through my back. And that's when I started realizing that the mortality of this game and the sports in general. And I didn't think I was obviously immortal. That's what we all think as athletes. But it comes to a point in time, my friends in the NFL, when you become afraid to get hit. You need to take that one little flinch of one get hit. Well, when I had my back, I went hit surgeons because I made it up on the ground, and so that was tough.
Second one, about expectations. They're still out there. So if you go back to early 2000s, or if you went a month without winning, you were in a slump. Expectations that great. To later your career, where the expectations from somebody you never won again. Which one do you bring more?
I look at that. Me personally, I look at I won 3 years. So here you go. Dylan, great.
Yeah, there were a couple designated events into the new PGA Tour, and I was just curious how you think it's going and how different you feel throughout the year.
Yeah, we've had it 3 already, and I think things been received. There's also mixed emotions about it. But from a marketing side of it and from the tour side of it and the future of our sport, it's been very positive. And we need to keep going with it and keep staying aligned and keep running and make it better. We have proved the best we possibly can to sell all the ships. There's so many different tracks out there now. There's so many options you have now. So it's about us creating the best products so that we have more on it. We have more stars. People want to come out. If I want to watch the game off, either on social media or the different platforms, just the fact that they're able to watch our sport. So in order to do that, we have to create the best product, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mixed emotions. Have you gotten a chance to talk to guys that have different types of
Absolutely. It runs the gamut. And from top players to players who are, obviously you have injuries, or the fact that you guys are dreaming or back and forth, you have a top game. And there's mixed emotions. At the end of the day, we're trying to create the best product. And how do we do that? That's what we're trying to do. We'll still figure it out. And we have a lot of players aligned since the Delray, and we're trying to create that atmosphere across the board. Understand that there's need to be able to have access and ability to play these elevated events. And how do we do that? We want to create next stars. I would like to get a sponsor exemption here at 16 years old. And so is that possible in the new model? We need to create opportunities like that. So I look back at, I was lucky I was able to play in this event. Byron asked me in his event. Arnold asked me to play in his event. So those opportunities early in my career. And we don't want the next stars to not have those opportunities.
I'm going to front you with that.
Tiger's the pattern fastness an issue at all in the foot?
Yes.
As much of
No, it's not as much. No, it's better. Okay.
And with the LIV kind of came to a head here last year. Looking back over the last year with what the PGA Tour has done, the things you just talked about, Is LIV more of a threat, less of a threat?
Well, it's not a very, how can I say, the year since, if you go back to week at Genesis last year to what's now, we all have to say they're very turbulent. We never expected the golf to be in this situation, but it is, that's the reality. And we're trying to create this product. Obviously, they're a competitive organization trying to create their best product they possibly can. And we're trying to create this product that we think the future of the golf, how it is, like, how we're working on. And we have some other top players online, and how we support world winners in the World Tour. We need to have our top players in the play around the world. And get the best product possible. And it's been an ebb and flow. It really has. It's been difficult. There's no lie. I mean, you've seen our ambassador, Rory, go through it. I mean, he's enough on him. And except for the natural, go through all that. I've been on all these conference calls, these side meetings, and for him to go and play and win, it's been incredible.
Tiger, along the same line with the designated events, obviously the whole thing came together very quickly from last fall to now. A lot of things had to happen to make this work, the scheduling and everything. One of the things going forward that's being discussed, at least there's rumblings about, is maybe some field, no cuts. It sounds like the Invitationals would be on the dock. Where do you stand on it? And also, would you have say it for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all that out. And it's been a variety of different models, different opinions, trying to figure out what's the best product and competitive environment and what we should do going forward. Limited fields, what's the number? Cuts, yes. Or no, what's the number? What do we go to? How many players are playing in the event? There is, okay, what is the ability to get into the events? How is Jay able to sell our product to all the sponsors across the board? There's so much give and take, and it's still ongoing. I mean, it's been difficult. A lot of players have been very forthright, which is great. It's what it should be. We are a first world organization, and so yes, we should have the voice and all the say, but we're trying to help our measure create what he can sell so that all of us can.
We've got up to 3 more.
Going back to your tournament here as an amateur, what do you think? You think, hey, I got in, I have to prove myself that I'm deserving of this, or are you just going out and just playing golf normally?
Well, there's a couple things that I realized. Number one, I've never seen as many fresh balls that were non-striped. Be able to hit those brand new blah balls I normally find in Greek stuff and use tournaments. And then come out here and I shoot 72, 75 somewhere in there, if I can remember. It was like 17 back of Davis. So I realized that, yes, there's a disparity, there's a gap. I could have played a little bit better, yes. I probably played 4 or 5 shots better, but I was not that good. And I can go back to high school golf and better there, get back better at junior golf, hopefully playing a couple more events. I was looking to that. Mr. Nelson asked me to play in this event, asked me to play this event. And so I'm looking at opportunities to kind of figure out where I need to go. And it allowed me to get better in the junior events, in the amateur events, able to have success because I got a chance to experience what I need to do out here, impact the brains and why I went about their business.
You referenced Arnie and Gary playing 50 plus Masters. Is there any part of your competitive DNA that would allow you to enjoy? But in tournament golf, is there, you reference like the history of the game, where people, you're 60 and you wake up with your rational belief, I can win this tournament. Could you still enjoy it?
I don't. I have a idea of being. If I'm playing to win, okay. I know that players that play they are ambassador game and the game. I can't have a mind. I can wrap my mind around that as a competitor. If I'm playing the event, I'm going to try and beat you. I'm there to get a W. Okay, so I don't understand that making a cut's a great thing. I enter the event, it's always to the W, and there will come a point in time when my body will not want to do that anymore, sooner than later. But I have my head around that position and being an ambassador role, just playing and just trying to beat the guys. That's not my game. In ambassador role and hosting events like this and hosting the Genesis Invitational or Hero and doing those things, I got to it. But as a player, I put that around and be a player. From a player standpoint, I'm under that W.
When people write you off, how much of a motivation factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career, yes. But I don't think that it has been later in my middle part of my career and my career. It hasn't. It was, I was going to actually do this still. As I was looking to what the is, those back courses were tough. That proving myself more than anything that I could still do it. Starts at home, starts practice, starts with guys, starts playing at and then come out here and having the belief I can do it. And ultimately, it's within me and whether or not I can do it. And it's not the motivating factor outside easy. I really did, but not towards the later part.
Okay, so thank you for the time. So we really appreciate it. Everybody stay put. We'll have Charles Moral Exemption with Mark with us. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, welcome. I'm host of the Genesis Invitational, as we all know. Also, Tiger, we all know your TGL Foundation benefits from this week. But I thought we're all curious as to kind of what other aspects went to your decision of trying to compete here this week.
Well, the plan was to play. Whether I would listen to me was the main question. And I've been, as I told you guys, we're down at the Hero. And I can do the direct thing. And so I can do all that stuff. It's matter I've been during my life and been pushing it pretty good and been able to recover each and every day, which is great. So I'm excited we'll compete and play. And here at Riviera, it's all start. So I'm excited to get out there playing tomorrow and get a nice little decent field. A little colder now, so I'm getting used to that and ready for it.
Before we take questions, just you mentioned where it all started, to hit that next shot, everybody saw that video, it's everywhere. Just when you look at now and Young Kids Foundation being involved, can you talk to the Progression Foundation in this situation, where it is now?
Yeah, to have some of our attendees of our learning lab to go here and experience this and see how their lives have been impacted because of this event. Because of the school from Genesis and everyone here in the media and all STEM programs all benefit from this event. And to have the kids that have watched this event have been through our STEM programs to have the ability to come out here and look at the best players in the world, but also showcase what their confidence and what they have developed into. and some of the conversations that some of the players I've had with our past attendees from Learning Lab, and it's incredibly inspiring.
Terrific. Okay, we'll just make sure that everybody, if you have a question, just raise your hand. Try and get through as many as we can. Start with your feedback.
Tiger, thanks. Could you just build more specificity on what is physically that you need to overcome that play? And then on a lighter note, Braun breaking the current record last week. Curious if you have thoughts on that and any golf record that's sort of equivalent of the regular season points title.
Okay. As far as the recovery is more of my ankle. Whether or not I can recover from day to day, the leg better than it was last year. But it's my ankle, and so being able to have it recover from day to day and being able to stress it, have recovery, and also have strength development at the same time. It's been an intricate balance that we've had to dance, but it's gotten so much better the last couple months, and I'm excited to go out there and compete and play these guys. I would not have myself out here if I beat these and win the event. That's my mentality, and if I wasn't ready to at this level, I'm very rusty. But I've come off from rusty situations before. I'm willing. I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics in practice. And also, I know this golf course. I know I haven't had a lot of success on this golf course, but I knew what to practice for, shots to hit on the home game right. And as far as the record, what he accomplished is absolutely incredible. That was the durability, the consistency, and the longevity. I never thought, I grew up watching Kareem here. I never saw that in Milwaukee, but he was all I remember the shows leaders, and also kept down there with the goggles and that record we never thought would be surpassed. But also the amount of minutes he's playing, no one ever done that age, and what he's done, and all 5 missions, and that's never been done before, and at this level for this long. And then as far as our equal to that, or not, you maybe now. They do. It takes a career to get to those numbers, and that's how I think part of this is how you look at it.
What did PNC tell you about the state of your game, how to impact your prep for playing another event?
You guys saw at PNC. I was able to play out of the cart and hit shots and do whatever I wanted, but I just didn't have the endurance in my ankle, and so we've been working on that, and getting to where I can still hit shots, but it's the walking that's hard. That's something that we've had to run and walk on distances each, and just basically just stress it out, but also recover by the next day and see how it is inflammation-wise and keep pressing it. I think overdone a couple times here.
Being from Norway, I just have to about how he's done really well at events. Victor Hovland, he's done well here, he's done really well at Bahamas. Just your thoughts on him as a player and as a person and how he can go.
This is one for Victor. He tries it. He doesn't really have any weaknesses in the game. I mean, initially it was probably the short game playing, but that's turned on. He's done really good work with that. This way he strides it all. I know he's not one of the long bars out there, but just look how many throws he hit and how many iron shots he hits. That's what he with. And his fitness, he works very hard at getting explosiveness and endurance and he'll play, and he's just started, and he's done it for him.
Tiger, you just said you wouldn't tee up in the tournament if you didn't think that you could win. From the PNC until now, could you just take us through your lifestyle and your day-to-day to actually get yourself to that point where you can say that?
I hit balls every day. I've been putting a neat little practice in my backyard, so I can do a little machine work there and a little progression, and I've gone to balls. I've walked the golf course and I've played. And then I'll play, I'll hurt when it gets tired, and it's just gone from a few holes to 9 holes to on the back 9 and then to 18 holes and back home practice. So it's just a build up, and it's a build. It's fantastic at this point. And then after this event, we'll analyze and see what we need to do to get ready for them.
Jim in the back, and then we'll get that mic up front.
Good to see you. You've always had a thirst for knowledge, right? It's about golf, it's a game of life. What have you learned about yourself over the last year since your accident that you didn't know before?
Well, I think that I have incredible support staff and people that have really helped me to get to this point. It's hard physically, as we all know, but I've had just good people around me. My training staff has allowed me to get to this point. I'm stronger, more pliable, get more endurance, and then it's the great friendship I have. The board, these guys texting me and egging me on, the banter back and forth, and it's incredible sport, and I've never have got to this point and made back to this one without sport.
Tiger, you walked 72 holes 4 days in a row. No. And do you ever see... Sure. No. And before. Do you see something that's not you might be able to pen leg? You think it will be a kind of day-by-day thing?
As I've been saying to you guys, I'm not going to be playing a full schedule, so I got to pick and choose my events and how many events I'm playing. And I look to the going to be part of the majors and maybe more. And I'd like to do more, yes. Will it allow me to? I don't know. And I have to be realistic about that. So being realistic about the career and training and... My bad.
Hold on.
No, it's just about I'm not going to be playing a full schedule, and I got to pick choosing what I'm going to play in. It's very limited. And so I put all my angels events.
Todd, right?
Tiger, anticipating Masters, it's going to be the first time you are in a room, in a group with LIV players. Wondering what that anticipation is like for you as far as how you may handle it, what your danger is going to be when you're around them.
That's a question I don't know because I haven't been around them. Some of the players out here have, and for instance, Rory's at by some of the players, and I don't know. I don't know what that reaction is going to be. I know that some of our friendships have sort of taken a different path, but we'll see when all that transpires. That's a couple months time.
Maybe is there maybe uncomfortable? Would you anticipate it being comfortable?
Yeah, the championship is going to be obviously something that's talked about. We as a whole need to honor Scotty. Scotty's owner, it's his turn. And so making sure that Scotty is honored correctly, also realizing just the nature of what has transpired and people that have left, and just where situations are, either legally, emotionally, there's a lot there.
Tiger, over the past month, Tom Brady retired. Now Aaron Rodgers is considering different sports, obviously, but can you relate or understand the play at all? We're walking away not necessarily because physical skill set, because feel like they don't give.
Yeah, I think that I would. There's a touch and go that I back my back fusion. I know I was vulnerable after that, and I came back and had a nice little run. Same thing with Lake. I didn't know if I was going to play again. I played for 3 years. So, yes, when you get a little older and get more banged up, you're not as invincible as you once were. And that's the reality of all this aging. Those are contact sports. I don't know how they played Tom playing as he did, and the level he played at was phenomenal. I mean, we just have to just look at him as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as a kid growing up watching John always speak and just find that I can do it, but I won't allow me to do it anymore. He won your last two Super Bowls. He just could not physically win. And that's, I've gotten to that point a couple of times where you kind of think about sport. I mean, there's no contact. I'm not figuring out guys falling on me. It's just I'm shooting the score. So we have the ability to pick, choose, and play longer. And we've seen in my hero, Palmer, like always, he played in 50 straight Masters. Okay, 50 straight, 9 years old, and he played 50 straight Masters. And you look at a player who played in 51 Masters. I mean, we're different schools.
And then Dylan.
You feel thrilled to be here?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I feel like at a point in your career, did you sort of feel grateful to get here? Not suggesting it's granted, but you know what I mean, injury-wise.
Probably I had some injuries early on in my career, but nothing like what I experienced with my back. And when my back went, I mean, those tough surgeries and tough rehab. I could power through my knee and meniscus and no ACL, and I could power through that, but I could never power through my back. And that's what I sort of like the mortality of this game and sports in general. And I didn't think I was obviously immoral. That's what we all think as athletes. But there comes a time when it happens in the NFL when you become afraid to get hit. You take one little flinch that I want to hit. Well, I didn't want to hit certain shots because I made up my ground. It's always tough.
So I want to ask about our expectations, which you ignore, but they're still out there. So if you go back to the early 2000s, where if you went a month without winning, you were in some expectations weren't that great, to later in your career where the expectations for summer you never win it. Which one do you enjoy more?
Well, I look at me personally. I look at the fact that I won 3 years. So there you go.
Yeah, Tiger, we're a couple designated events into the new look PGA Tour, and I was just curious how you think it's going and how different things feel throughout here.
You know, we've had it already, and I think it's been received. It's also mixed emotions. But from a marketing side of it and from the side of the future of our sport, it's been very positive. And we need to keep going with it and keep staying aligned and keep progressing and making it better. We need to produce the best product we possibly can to sell to all the viewers. And there's many different out there now. There's many different options that you have now. And so we have to create the best product that we have on it. We have more sellers. People want to come out and either watch the game golf, participate on social media or the different platforms. Just the fact they're able to watch our sport. So we have to create that product, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mixed emotions. Have you gotten a chance to talk to guys that have different types of emotions?
It runs and from top players to players who are obviously have injuries, or the fact that you have guys who are journeymen or back and forth. Yes, I've talked to them. And there's, as I said, there's emotions. At the end of the day, we create that product. And how we do that, that's what we're going to do. We're still figuring it out. And we have a lot of players that are online since the Dell meeting, and we're trying to create that atmosphere across the board and understand that players need to have access and ability to play these elevated events. And how do we want to create next stars. I was like, okay, that's supposed to get here at 16-year-old. So is that possible in that new model? We need to create opportunities like that. So I look back, I was able to play in this event, Mark Nelson asked me to his event, Arnold asked me to his event. So I had those opportunities very early in my career, and we don't want the stars to not have those opportunities.
Tiger, the plantar fasciitis an issue in the foot?
Yes.
As much of a...
No, it's not as much, but
And with the LIV talk came ahead here last year, looking back over the last year with what the PGA Tour has done, the things you talk about, is LIV more of a threat, less of a threat?
The past year since, if you feel like this week at Genesis last year to whereas now, we all have to say it's been very turbulent. We never expected the game off to be in this situation, but that's the reality. And we're absolutely trying to create the best product. Obviously, they're organization to create the best product they possibly can, and we're trying to create the best product in the future of golf, how it should play. How do we do that? We're still working on it, and becoming other top players online, and how do we support our world partners in the DP World Tour? We need to have our top players understand we play around the world, and again, create the best product possible. And it's never been fun. It has. It's been difficult. There's been no lie. You've seen our master Rory go through it, and he's enough. And but it's like for the next session, go through all that. I've been with him on all these conference calls and side meetings, and for him to go out and play even, it's incredible.
Take one from the middle and cross out.
Tiger, along the same lines with the designated events, obviously this whole thing came together very quickly from last fall to now. A lot of things happen to make this work, scale and everything. One of the things going forward that's being discussed, at least the rumblings about, is making some of these slim fields and cuts. It sounds like the invitation will be on after that. Where do you stand on that? And also, would you have a say for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all that out. And it's been a variety of different rules, different opinions, trying to figure out what is the best product, competitive environment, and what we should do forward. Yes, limited fields, what's the number? Cuts, yes or no? What's the number we go to? How many player playing event? What is the ability to get into designated events? How is GA able to sell our product to all the different sponsors across the board? There's so much to take in. It's still ongoing. It really has. It's difficult. A lot of players have been very forefront, which is great. It's what we be. We are a players-run organization, and so we should have the voice and ultimate say. We're trying to help our commissioner create what he can sell so that all is benefit.
Two or three more will go lined up on the right here. Go on.
Going back to your first tournament here as an amateur, what are you thinking? Are you thinking, hey, I have proved myself that I'm deserving of this, or are you just going to playing golf normally?
Well, there's a couple things that I realized. One I've seen as many fresh range balls that were unstruck. Be able to hit those many balls I know would find in creeks and stuff and use in terms. And then come out here and I'm actually 17, 25 somewhere in there, I remember. I was like 17 back of Davis. So there's an experience, yeah. Could have had a little better, yes, like 4 or 5 shots there, but I was not that good. And really, I could go back to high school golf and get back there to junior golf. Hopefully play a couple more events. I was looking at the middle playing this event, Arnold, and so I get some opportunities to kind of figure out where I need to go. And it allowed me to get better in junior events in the amateur to have more success because I got the chance to experience what I need to do out here. And then watch how they're going about their business.
Your refs aren't in your 50 plus members. Is there any part of your competitive DNA that would allow you to enjoy it? But like, in front of office, you do refs like his game. You're 60 and wake up with your rational belief in this tournament. Could you still make of it?
I have not come around the idea of being, if I'm playing, I'm playing to win, okay? I know that players have played and they are ambassadors of the game. I can't have my mind around that as a competitor. If I'm playing in the event, I'm going to try and beat you. I'm there to W. Okay, so I don't understand that make a anything. If I enter the event, it's always to get W, and there will come a time when my body will not allow me to do anymore, and it's probably sooner there. But I'm around that transition and the ambassador role in playing and just trying to be out here with the guys. No, that's not in my DNA. Ambassador role in hosting events like this and hosting the Genesis Invitational or hero doing those things, I do it as a player, a pad on and player from a player standpoint. yeah, I'm very good at that.
We'll take one more question with Ben in front of you.
When people write you off, how much of a motivational factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career, yes. But I don't think that it has been later in part of my career and the back side of my career. It really hasn't. It was, honestly, can I actually do this still? As I was looking to with Doug here, those back operations were tough. That proving to myself morning that I can still do it. Starts at home, starts practice, starts with the guys, starts playing 18 holes, and then come out here and have the belief I can do it. And ultimately, it's within me, and whether or not I can, and it's not the motivating factor outside. It used to be, I did, not towards the later part of my career.
Okay, Tiger, thank you for the time as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. Everyone just we'll have Charles Sifford, organization winner, Mark with a medal. Welcome, and welcome, Tiger Woods. Former host of the Genesis Invitational, we all know. Also, Tiger, you're a TR Foundation benefits from this week. But I think we're curious as to what other aspects went into your decision trying to competing this week.
Well, the plan was to play, whether that I was in or not, was the main question. And I've been posting guys over down at the Hero. And while the Sonic, I mean, I can do the thing, and so I can hold and do all that stuff. It's better I had the endurance in my leg and been pushed everything, able to coverage every day, which is great. So I might be able to play here at Riviera or just started. So we'll see everybody and tomorrow, and I get a nice little feel for it. Cold out, so get used to that, and every Thursday.
If we take questions that just mentioned, we're all started. Once you hit that shot, everybody saw that video everywhere. When you look now, and young kids from your foundation be involved, can you just talk about the progression of the foundation and solutions where it is now?
To have some of our attendees of our learning lab able to come here and experience this and to see how it has impacted this event because of the support from Genesis and everyone here in the media and all the STEM programs all benefit from this event, and to have kids that have watched this event have been through our STEM programs to have the ability to come out here and look at the best players in the world play golf, but also showcase what they have developed into. And some of the conversations the player had with our past attendees from the learning lab, it's incredibly inspiring.
Terrific. Just make sure that everybody, if you have questions, raise your hand. We'll try to get as many as we can without Jeff in the back.
Tiger, thanks. Could you just a little more specificity on the what is physically that you need to kind of work on to be able to play? And then on a lighter note, LeBron breaking the record last week. Curious if you have thoughts on that? Any golf records or equivalent of the regular season points?
Okay. As far as the recovery is more Michael. Whether I recover from day to day, the leg is better than it was last year, but it's ankle, and so being able to have it recover from day to day and being able to stress it, but have it recovery and also have strength development at this time, it's been the intricate bounce that we've had against, but yeah, so much better last couple of months. I'm excited to go out there and compete and play these guys. I would not have myself here if I didn't beat these guys and win the bet. That's my mentality. And if I wasn't ready to win at this level, I am very rusty. But I've come off from rusty situations before, and I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics and practice. And also I know this is the golf course. I know I haven't had a lot of success on the golf course, but I knew what to practice for. I was just to hit. I was at home ready. And as far as Ron, it's what he accomplished is it's incredible. That was just the durability, the consistency, and the longevity. I never watching Green here, and never saw that in Milwaukee, but he's the cap. That's all I remember. The Showtime Makers and watching Cap down there with goggles, and this guy who that record we never thought would be surpassed. But what I'm doing, but also the amount of minutes he's playing, no one's ever done that age. Anybody's done maybe 5 positions, and that's never been done before. And then at this level for this long. And as far as our equivalent to that, maybe you look at anything now. No, they do too. Yeah, it takes a career to do those numbers, and that's how I think I look at.
Go to this mic here.
What did PNC tell you about the state of your game, how to impact your prep for playing in another event?
You guys, you watch at PNC, I was able to get hard and hit shots and do all. I just had the endurance in my ankle, and so we worked on that, and getting to where I can still shots. Just walking here is hard. That's something that we've had to work on and walk on distance to the beach and just stress it out. But I'll recover for the day, see how it is if we want to keep practicing. I may have overread it a couple times here and there, but here I am.
Being from Norway, just he was done really well at your events, done well here, he's done really well at Palm. Just your thoughts on him as a player in person and how far you can go.
This guy's a much better. What he did right, he doesn't really have any weaknesses in the game. Initially, we hit short game putting, but that's turned down. He's done some really good work with that. But he's all. I know he's not one of the longer ballers out there. He's kind of fairly and I'm better as he gets. That's going to take him a long way. And then he's he works very hard at gaining explosiveness and endurance and able to play. And he's just started, and the sky's the limit for him.
Hi, Tiger. You just said that you wouldn't tee up the tournament if you didn't think you could win. From the PNC until now, could you just take us through your lifestyle and your day-to-day to actually get yourself to that point where you can sit here and confidently say that?
Hit balls, hit balls every day. I got a neat little practice in my backyard, so a little bit of short game work there and a little bit of progression. And I found the medalist and hit balls. I've walked golf course and played. And then I play hot card and still tired. And then this has gone from a few holes to 9 holes to 9 and then to 18 holes and like home practice. So it's a build up, and it's built up fast to this point. And then after this, that's what I realized what we need to do to do further.
In the back, and we'll get out the front.
Good to see you. Good to see you. You've always had a thirst for knowledge. What it is about golf, it's the game of life. What have you learned about yourself the last year that you're at that maybe you didn't know before?
Well, I think that I had incredible support staff and people that have really helped me get to this point. It's hard physically, as we all know, but I just respect people around me. My training staff has allowed me to get to this point. I'm starting more pliable, more turns. And then just the great friendships I've had, even on the tour, these guys texting me, egging me on, and the back and forth. And it's incredible support. And I would never have gotten to this point at this point without their support.
Have you watched 72 holes 4 days in a row?
No.
And do you have sure? Yeah. I've done it before. And do you see a scenario when it's not so touch and go? When I be able to depend on the ladder, do you think that will be this kind of day-by-day thing for
Yeah, like I've been saying, I'm going to be playing schedule, so I can choose my best and how many I'm going to play. And I lose last year, I said probably the majors maybe a couple more. And I'd like to play more, yes. Will it allow me to? I don't know. And I have to be realistic about that. So being realistic about the recovery and the training and. It's just about I know I'm not playing, full schedule. I got to be choosing one of the playing. It's very limited. And so all my energy goes best.
Okay, good talk, mate.
You're anticipating Masters, to be the first time that you're in a room, in a group with LIV players. Wondering what that anticipation is like for you as far as how you may handle it, what your demeanor is going to be when you're around them.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if I have been around them. Some of the players out here have, and for instance, we were recently in Dubai, with some of the players, and I don't know. I don't know what that direction could be. I know that some of our friendships have certainly taken a different path, but we'll see when all that transpires. As still a couple months away.
And is there maybe uncomfortable? Would you anticipate it being uncomfortable?
Yeah, the championship is going to be obviously something talked about. We as a whole need to honor society. Society's there. Making sure that this guy gets honored correctly, but also realizing just the nature of what has transpired and the people that we have had left, and just our situations are either legally, emotionally, there's a lot there.
Like for the Tom Brady retired now, Aaron Rodgers is considering obviously. Can you relate or understand the plight at all? They're walking away not necessarily because their physical skills diminished, but because they feel like they don't have anyone to get.
Yeah, I think that there was a touch and go where I'd be back after my back fusion. I didn't know if I was going to walk in after that, and I came back and had a nice little run. Same with the sled. I didn't know I was going to play, and I played 30 minutes last year. Yes, when you get older and you're banged up, you're not as invincible as you were, and that's just the reality of all this aging. More contact sports, I don't know how they played Tom playing as long as he did, and the level that he played at was phenomenal. We have to just look at him as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as a kid growing up watching John Elway speak and just cried that I can do it, but I don't want to do it anymore. He won the last Super Bowls, but he just couldn't physically do it anymore. And I've got to that point a couple times where you can think about our sport. There's no contact. If you're on me, it's just a matter of shooting the score. We have the ability to make you a little longer, and we've seen my hero on Paul Nicole is been 50 straight masters. 50 straight, not 50 old yet, and he's been 50 straight masters. And Gary Player has been 51 masters. We're two sports.
Can we talk in there, Dylan?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I figured as much. But at what point in your career did you start to feel grateful to be out here? Not suggesting it's in any ways.
Probably I had some years early on in my career, but nothing like my experience with my back. And when my back went, I had those tough surgeries and tough rehab. I could power through my knee and the meniscus and the nose, and I could power through that, but I could never power through my back. And that's what I realized, the mortality of this game and just sports in general. And I didn't think I was mortal. This is what we all think as athletes. But there's no point in a couple friends in the NFL are afraid to hit. You get that one little flinch of I don't want to get hit. Well, when I had my back, I didn't want to hit certain shots because I made it on the ground, and so that was tough.
Second one are expectations, which you can ignore, but they're still out there. So if you go back to like early 2000s, where if you had a month without winning, you were in slump, the expectations were great. To later in your career, where the expectations for somebody never winning again. Which one do you enjoy more?
Well, look at me personally. I look at I had 1 years. So.
Yeah, Tiger, a couple designated events into the new PGA Tour, and I was just curious how you get going and how different you think it'll feel from here.
We've did already, and that's been received. There's also mixed emotions about it. But from a marketing side of it and from the tour side and the future of our sport, it's been positive. And we need to keep going with it and keep staying aligned and keep working and making better. We need to the product we possibly can to sell to all viewerships. And there's different directions out there now. There's so many options that you have, and so it's about us creating the best products that have more eyes on it. We have more stars. People want to come out and either watch the game golf, or participate either on social media or different platforms. Just about they're able to watch our sport. So in order that we have to do the best product, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mixed emotions. Have you had a chance to talk to guys that have different types of
emotions? It runs the gamut. And from top players to players where obviously you have injuries or the fact that you have guys who are dreaming, that's up to the whole gamut. And there's mixed emotions. But at the end of the day, trying to create the product. And how do we do that? That's what we're trying to do. We're still figuring it out. And we have a lot of top players that are aligned since the Dell meeting. And we're trying to create that atmosphere across the board and understand that players need to be able to have access and ability to play these events. And how do we do that? We want to create the next stars. I was looking at sports 16 years old. So is that possible in that new model? We need to create opportunities like that. So look back at I've been lucky enough to play this event. Nelson asked me to play his event. Arnold asked me to play his event. So I got those opportunities very early in my career. And we don't want next stars to not have those opportunities.
Tiger, is the Plan Fest had an issue at all?
Yes.
As much of a...
No, not as much, no, but it's better. Okay.
And with the LIV kind of came to a head here last year, looking back over the last year with what the tour is on the things you just talked about, is LIV more threat, less of a threat?
It's been the past year since you got to get this last year, whereas now we all have to be very turbulent. We never would have expected the game of golf to be in situation, but it is. It's reality. And we're trying to create this product. Obviously, they're a competitive organization trying to create the best product we can, and we're trying to best product. We think the future of the golf, how it should play. How do we do that? We're still working on that. And we have some top players that are online, and how do we support our world partners in the DP World Tour? We have our top players that we need around the world, and again, create this product possible. And it's an ebb and flow. It never has. It's been difficult. It is not. You've seen our ambassador, Roy, go for it. But it's exceptional. Go through all that. Go through all these conference calls, these meetings, and for him to go and play and win, it's been incredible.
Tiger, along the same lines with the designated events, obviously this whole thing came together very quickly from last fall. Now that a lot of things had happened, makes work, scheduling, everything. One of the things going forward that's being discussed, there's rumblings about making some of these limited fields and the cuts. It sounds like an invitation would be on the top of that. Where do you stand on it? And also, would you have a say in it for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all that, and it's been a variety of models, different means, trying to figure out what is the best product and competitive environment and what we should do going forward. Yes, fields, what's the number? Yes, or no, what's the number? Where do we go to? How many players are playing that? What is the ability to get into designated events? How is Jay able to sell our product to all different sponsors across the board? There's so much to get and it's still ongoing, and it really has. It's difficult. A lot of players are very forefront, which is great. It's what it should be. We're players run an organization, and so yes, we should have an ultimate say, but we're trying to help our share create what he can sell so that all of us can benefit.
Going back to your first tournament here as an amateur, what are you thinking? Hey, I got in. I have to prove myself that I'm deserving of it, or are you just going to play golf normally?
Well, there's a couple things I realized. One I've never seen as many fresh balls that were non-stripe. People did those brand new balls around with flying creeks and stuff and using pros. And then out here in my 5-ish somewhere in there, if I can remember. It was like 17 back of this. So I realized there's a very interesting gap. Could have played a little better, I could have played 4 or 5 shots better, but I was not that good. And we're going back to golf and get there, get back better to golf. Hopefully play a couple more events. I was going to do that. Mission Nelson asked me to play this event. So I was getting opportunities to figure it out where I go. And it allowed me to get better in junior events and the amateur. I was just experience what I need to do out here, and pick their brains and watch how they went about their business.
referenced Arnie and Gary Lynn, 50 Masters. Is there any part of your competitive DNA that would allow you to enjoy? But that's not, in tournament, because you reference like the history of the game and the celebration people. If you're City and you wake up with the irrational belief fighting this tournament, could you enjoy any of it?
I'm not drawn to the idea of being. If I'm playing, I'm playing to win. Okay, I know that players play and they are master of the game, trying to grow the game. I can't have my mind. I can't wrap my mind around that as a competitor. If I'm playing the event, I'm going to try and beat you. I'm there to get a W. Okay, so I don't understand that make a custom thing. If I enter the event, it's always to get a W, and there will come a time when I'm not wanting it anymore, and it's hard to sooner or later. Wrapping my head around that transition and being ambassador role and just playing and just trying to be here, that's not in my DNA. Ambassador role and hosting events like this, hosting the Genesis Invitational, or hero doing those things, I get it. As a player, I put a hat around a player. From a player standpoint, I'm here for that W.
We'll take one more question. You've been right in front of you.
Sorry, when people write you off, how much of a motivational factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career, yes. I think that it has been later in part of my career and the best side of my career. It was, I was like, can I actually do this? So, as I was looking to Doug here, those back were tough. That proved itself more than anything that I'd still do it. At home, just in practice, search guys, start playing 18 holes, and then come up here and have the belief I can do it. And ultimately, it's within me, and I believe I can do it. And it's not the motivating factor outside. It used to be. I certainly did, but not for the later part of my career.
Thank you for the time. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Debbie, stay put. We'll have Charles Sifford Memorial Exemption. Thank you. Everybody, guys. Someone hosted the Genesis Invitational as well. Also, we know that you're a TGL Foundation this week, but I think we're all curious to kind of what recommend your decision of trying to be here this week.
I was to play when the live was coming on. Was the main question. And I've been, as I told some of you guys, I worked down at the Hero. And all of a sudden, I can do the Ranger rig, and so I can hit calls and do all that stuff. It's better what happened during the and we've been pushing pretty good, and been recovering everything's great. So I'm excited to be able to compete and play here at Riviera, basically it all started. So I'm excited to play and get a nice taste feel for holding it. So I'll get used to that, and here Thursday.
Before we take questions, just mention verbal start, but you hit that open tee shot, everybody saw that video, it's everywhere. Just when you look at now, young kids from Foundation being involved, can you talk about your Foundation installations, where now?
Just have some of our attendees of our learning lab will come up here and experience this and see how their lives impacted because of this event. Because of support from Genesis and going here and the media and all our programs all benefit from this event, and to have the kids that have watched this event have been through all our STEM programs to have the ability to come here and look at the best players in the world involved. Also showcase what your confidence and what they have developed into. In some conversations that some of the players with our attendees from the learning lab, it's incredible, it's inspiring.
Terrific. We'll just make sure you have questions, raise your hand, try and get through these cans up from the back.
Two things. Could you just a little more specificity on the what it is that you need to know how to be able to play? And then on the LIV Golf, the score record last week. I'm curious if you have thoughts on that and any golf record that's sort of equivalent of the regular season points title.
As far as the recovery, it's more about my ankle. When I can recover from day to day, later than it was last year, but it's my ankle. And so be able to have it recover from day to day and be able to stress it, but have recovery and also have the strength at the same time. It's been an interesting balance at advance, but it's gotten so much better the last couple months, and excited to go out there and compete and play these guys. I would not have put myself out here if I did beat guys and win the event. That's my mentality. If I wasn't ready to win this one, I'm very rusty. But I've come off from rusty situations before, and I've done one. I've had to use a lot of those active practice and develop, and plus also I know the golfers. I know I've had a lot of success on the golf course, but I knew what to practice for. Shot it was home game ready. As far as the LeBron record, it's what he accomplished is. He's absolutely incredible enough, just the durability, the consistency, and the longevity. I watched Kareem here. Never saw him playing walking, but he was, that's all I remember the Showtime Olympics and watching back run down over the bottle in the sky, and that record, we never thought he's fast. But what runs away, but also the number of minutes he's playing, no better than that age, and what he's done in live positions, and that's never done before, and that's all for his long. And as far as our equivalent to that, I don't know, maybe you look at me and Sam, they do. It takes a weird to get to those numbers, and that's how I think probably that's how you look at it.
Hi, what did the PNC tell you about the state of your game? How did it impact your prep for playing another event?
As you watch that PNC, I'll look at that and hit shots and where I want to just have the endurance in my ankle. And so we've been working on that and getting to where I can still hit those shots, but it's a long endurance, it's hard. That's something we've had to work on and look on distances to the beach and basically stress it out, but also be able to recover the next day and see how it is, information-wise, and then keep practicing. And I may have to a couple times here and there. Here I am.
Being from just asked you about a guy who's done really well endurance through Hall. He's done well here, he's done really well at Bahamas. Just know awesome as a player and as a person, how far you can go.
This guy's an underdog. The way he drives it, he doesn't really have any weaknesses in the game. And initially, we'll probably hit short body, but that's turned around. He's done good work with that. But just the way he strikes the ball, and he's not moving longer bombers out there, but he's just looking at fairways and how many fire shots he gets. That's going to have a long way. And then his fitness, he works very hard at gaining explosiveness and endurance as he will play, and I think he's started, and the sky's not for him.
Tyler, you just said that you wouldn't tee up in a tournament if you didn't think you could win. From PNC until now, could you just take us through your lifestyle, your day-to-day, actually get yourself to that point where you can see your confidence?
I hit balls basically almost every day. I jump on, I got a neat little sling in my backyard, so I can do a little short game work there and a little progression, and I've got the medicine hit balls, I walk, of course, and then I'll play up hard when he's slider, and it's gone from a few holes to 9 holes to the back 9 and to 18 holes and back home practice. So it's just a build-up, and it's built up fantastic at this point, and then after this event, we'll analyze it and see what we need to do to get ready for that.
Since you look at how you you've always had a thirst for knowledge, whether it's about golf or just a game of life. What have you learned of yourself over the last year since you actually you didn't know before?
Well, I think that I've had incredible support staff and people that have really helped me get to this point. It's a hard city, as we all know, but I've had this great around me. My training staff has allowed me to get to this point. I'm stronger, more pliable, more endurance, and then just the great friendship I've had. The tour of these guys, it's me taking me on, the banter back and forth, and it's incredible support. And I would never have gotten to one day back to this point without their support.
Tiger, have you walked 72 holes 40 in a row? And do you see a
sure?
Yeah. And then before. Do you see a scenario when it's not going to go, when maybe just on a leg, or do you think that'll be this kind of day-by-day thing?
As I've been saying, I'm not going to be playing full schedule, so I got to choose my events and how many events I'm going to play. And I know last year it's going to be part of the major, maybe a couple more. And I'd like to do more, yes. Will it allow me to? I don't know. And I have to be realistic about that. So being realistic about the recovery and training and...
My bad. Well done.
It's just about I'm not going to be playing, full schedule, and I got to pick choose and want to be playing, and it's very limited, and so all energy into those events.
Tiger participating in Masters. It's going to be the first time that you're in a room, in a group with LIV players. Wondering what that participation is like for you as far as how you may handle it, what your demeanor is going to be when you're around them.
That's a great question. I don't know if I haven't been around them. Some of the players out here have, and for instance, we're always by some of the players, and I don't know what the reaction is going to be. Some of our friends have certainly taken a different path, but we'll see when all that transpires and still comes away.
Champions Dinner, maybe uncomfortable. Would you hesitate at being uncomfortable?
Yeah, the Champions Dinner is going to be obviously it's talked about. We as a whole need to honor Scotty. Scotty's the winner. It's his dinner, and so making sure that Scotty is honored correctly, but also realizing just the nature of what has transpired and people who have left, and just where our situations are, either legally, emotionally, there's a lot there.
Tiger, over the panel, Tom Brady retired, now Aaron Rodgers is considering different sports, obviously. But can you relate or understand their play at all, whether walking, not necessarily because their physical skills have diminished, because they feel like they don't have anything to give?
Yeah, I think that I would. There was a touch that I'd be back from my confusion. I didn't know if I was walking in out of that, and I came back and had a solo run. Same thing with leg. I didn't know I was thinking I played 3 majors last year. So you need a little older and a little banged up, and just not invincible anymore. And that's just a reality of all skating. Those are contact sports. I mean, I don't know how he played as long as he did, and the level that he played at was phenomenal. I mean, we just have to just look at him as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as a kid watching John Ellis speak and cry that I could do it, but my body allowed me to do anymore. When you're allowed to Super Bowl, he just could not do it anymore. And that's got to that point a couple of times where you kind of think about it. I mean, there's no contact. I don't have to pound guys all on top of me. It's a matter of shooting a low score. So we have the ability to pitch a little longer, and we've seen, I'm out here on we call it. Like playing 50 straight Masters. Okay, 50 straight. I'm 50 years old, and you're playing 50 straight Masters. And you look at your player, then 50 Masters. I mean, we're principles.
You feel grateful to be here? Yes. Okay. Yes. At what point in your career did you start to feel grateful to be up here? Not this, you don't have any injuries.
Probably, I had some surgery early on in my career, but nothing like what I experienced with my back. And when my back went, those were tough surgeries and tough rehabs. And I could power through my knee and the meniscus and no ACL. I got power through that. I could power through my back. And that's what I the morality of this game and this sports in general. And I didn't think I was obviously moral. I just will think as athletes, there comes a time when, like my friends and fellow, when you become afraid to get hit. You need to take one little flinch. I don't get hit. Well, when I had a back, I didn't hit certain shots. I made it early. That was tough.
Second thing are expectations, which you can ignore, but they're still out. So if you go back to early 2000s, where for a month without winning, you were in a slump, the expectations of that career, to later in your career where the expectations of somewhere you'd never win. Which one do you enjoy hearing more?
Well, me personally, I look at that in 1 years. So there you go.
Yeah, Tiger, a couple designated events into the new look PGA Tour, and I was curious how you think it's going and how different you feel from here.
Yeah, we've had 3 already. I think it's been received. There's awesome emotions about it. But from a marketing side of it and from the sport side and the future of our sport, it's been very positive. And we need to keep going with it and keep staying aligned and keep progressing and making it better. We need to produce the best product we possibly can to sell to all the viewerships. And there's so many different distractions out there now. There's so many options that you have now. And so it's us creating the best products so that we have more eyes on. We have more stars. People come out and watch the game, golf, participate, either on social media or different streaming platforms. It's just the fact that they're able to watch our sport. So in order to do that, we have to create the product, and that's what we're trying to do.
They've gotten a chance to talk to the guys have different types of
absolutely. It runs it. And from top players to players who are, obviously have injuries or the fact that you have or treatment, yes, I've I'm in it as emotions. But then we're trying to create a product. And how do we do that? That's what we're trying to do, and we'll figure out. And we have a lot of top players online since the meeting, and we're trying to create that atmosphere of across the board and understand that players need to be able to access and the ability to play these events. And how do we do that? We want to create the stars. I was nothing responsible to here at 16 years old. And so is that possible in that new model? We need to create opportunities like that. So I look back and I got lucky. I was able to play this event, Brian Nelson asked me to play his event, Arnold asked me to play his event, so I had those opportunities very early in my career, and we want the next stars to not have those opportunities.
Tiger, is it minor fasciitis an issue?
Yes.
This month?
No, it's not, but it's better.
With the LIV talk kind of came to a head here last year. Looking back over the last year with the PGA Tour, you talked about is LIV more of a threat, less of a threat?
It's been a very, the past year since, if you looked at this week at Genesis last year to where's it now, we all have to say very turbulent. We never would have expected the golf to be in the situation, but it's reality, and we're absolutely trying to create the best products. They're a competitive organization, trying to create the best product we can, and we're trying to create the best product that we think the future golf, how we should play it. How do we do that? We're just working on it, and we have so many top players online, and how do we support our world partners in the PGA Tour? We need to have our top players, and then we play around the world, and getting the best product possible. And it's been ebb and flow, and it really has. It's been full. There's no lag. I mean, you've seen our answer where you go through it, and it's been fun. And but except for even go through all that, I'm going to conference all these side meetings, and for him to go out there and win, it's been incredible.
Tiger, along these same lines with the designated event, obviously this whole thing came together very quickly from last fall to now. A lot of things had to happen to make this work, scheduling everything. One of the things going forward, the thing discussed, at least there are rumblings about it, making some of these limited fields of us. Sounds like the Invitational will be on the, on the dock of that. Where do you stand on that, and would you have a say in it for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all that out. I mean, it's been a variety of models, different themes, trying to figure out what is the best product and competitive environment and what we should do going forward. Yes, limited fields, what's the number? Cuts, yes, or no, what number would we go to? How many players are playing in that? There is, okay, what is the ability to get to the designated events? How is Jay able to sell our product to all different sponsors across the board? There's so much give and take, and it's a long going. I mean, it really has. It's been difficult. A lot of players are very forefront. It's great. It's what it should be. We are a players-run organization, and so yes, we should have those elements, but we're trying to help our commissioner create what he can sell so that all can benefit.
Going back to your first term here as an amateur, what do you think? You're thinking, hey, I have to prove myself that I'm deserving of this, or are you just going up to playing golf normally?
Well, there's a couple things I realized. Number one, I've never seen as many fresh angles that were non-type. Able to hit a lot of those I would find in creeks and stuff and use in premise. And then come here, and then I 72, 75, somewhere in there, if I remember. I was 17 back of Davis. So I realized that, yes, there is a gap. I could have played a little bit, yes, I could probably played 4 or 5 shots, but I was not that good. and really I need to go back to high school golf and get better there, get better at junior golf, hopefully gain a couple more events. I was looking at missions, national events, and last event, and just getting opportunities to kind of figure it out where I need to go. And it allowed me to be better in the tournaments and the other events, I was able to have more success because I just experienced what I need to do out here, impact their brains and watch how they went about business.
You referenced Arnie near like 50s Masters. Is there any part of your competitive DNA that would allow you to enjoy? But is in tournament golf, you reference like the history of the game. Most people, if you're succeeding, you make up with irrational leaf in this tournament. Could you still enjoy any of it?
I don't have to come around to the idea of being. If I'm playing, I need to win. Okay, I know that players play in the or master game and try to game. I can't have my mind around that as a competitor. If I'm playing an event, I'm going to try to beat you. I'm there to tell you. So I don't understand that to make that's a good thing. If I enter the event, it's always to be good to you. And there will come one time my body not allowing me to do that anymore. And it's probably similar. Wrap my head around that transition and being a master role and just trying to be out here. That's not my DNA. Master role in hosting events like this, hosting the Genesis Invitational, or pure role in doing those. I totally get as a player. I think I have around the player. From a player standpoint, yeah, I'm very good at it.
We'll take one more question. Ben, right here. When people write you off, how much of a motivation factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career. Yes. I don't think that it has been later in my career and the backside of my career. It hasn't. It was, can I actually do this still? As I was linked with others, those backup players were rough. That proves myself more than anything that I can still do it. Starts at home, just practice, start guys, start playing holes, and then come out here and have the belief I can do it. And it's with me, and whether or not I can do it. And it's not motivating for outside. It used to be. I certainly did, but not towards the later part of my career.
Okay, Tiger, thank you for the time as always. Really appreciate it. Everybody stay cool. Have Charles Sifford, William Shin, winner most of the worst Monday. Hello everybody and welcome to Fairways. Former host of the Genesis Invitational, as we know. Also Tiger, you're one of the TGL Foundation benefit from the Wednesday. But we're all curious to how other aspects made your decision trying to actually compete here. So
I was to play. Whether I was or not was the main thing. And I've been, as all you guys ever done that at the Hero. And all the time I can do everything. So I can make calls and do all that stuff. It's better when I have endurance in my leg and do what I'm doing. They would coach every day, which is great. So I'm excited to be able to be and play and play here at Riviera where it's going to start. So I'm excited to get out there play and play tomorrow and get a nice little feel for it. A little colder than I thought. So I'll get used to that and get ready for it.
Before we take questions, so just mention where it all started back in the opening tee shot. Everybody saw that video, it's everywhere. When you now and young from your foundation, you involved, you just talk to the question of your foundation and inspection. What is now?
Just have some of our attendees of our lab come here and experience this and see how their lives have been impacted because of this event. Because support from Genesis and everyone here in the media and all our STEM programs all benefit from this event. And to have kids that have watched this event, have been through our STEM programs, to be able to have the ability to come out here and learn to play the world, play golf, but also showcase what their confidence and what they have developed into. And some of the conversations that I've had with our past attendees from the Learning Lab, it's incredible, inspiring.
Terrific. Okay, just make sure that everybody, if you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll try and get through these. We'll start with Jeff.
Two things. Could you just a little more specificity on what it is that you use to overcome the other play? And then on a lighter note, Ron breaking the strike last week, you have found that in golf sort of equivalent of the regular season points.
As far as the recovery is more of my Michael. Whether I recover from day to day, the day is better than it was last year, but it's Michael. And so being able to have recover from day to day and then being also stress it about the recovery and also strength development at the same time. It's been interesting balance we've had to dance, but it's gotten so much better the last couple months, and I'm excited to go out there and compete with these guys. I would not have stopped here if I and doing that. That's my mentality, and if I wasn't ready to win at this level, I'm very rusty. I've come off of rusty situations before that and I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics in practice and build up, and plus also I was golf. I know how to have a lot of success on the golf course, so I knew what to practice for, shots to hit, when I home get ready. And as far as the LeBron record, he is incredible of just the durability, the consistency, and the longevity. I never thought I grew watching Kareem here, never saw him play Milwaukee, but he was cap. That's all I remember, the Showtime makers and walking cap down over the goggles and skyhook, and that record never would be surpassed. But honestly, but also the amount of minutes he's playing, no one's ever done at that age, and he's going to be able to play off positions. That I've never done before, and at this level for this long. And then are equivalent to that. I don't know, maybe if you look at me, exam. They do. Yeah, it takes a career to those numbers, and that's how I think it is best.
What did the PNC tell you about the state of your game? How did you impact your prep for in another?
Yes, you watched the PNC. I was going to play the card and hit shots and do everyone, but I just had the burst in my angle, and so we worked on that, and getting to where I can still hit shots, but it's a walking yard, it's hard. That's something that we've worked on and work on. This is the beach, and just basically stress out, but also recover the next day and see how it is, information wise, and keep practicing. And I may have to hold that a couple times here and there, but here I am.
Being from Norway, I just asked about a guy who really well, Victor Hovland, well, he's done really well. Could you tell your thoughts on him as a player that's been
The sky's the limit for Victor. The way he draws, he doesn't have any weaknesses in the game. And initially, we probably that's turned around. He's done some really good work at that. But he strikes the ball. I know it's not one of the ball out there, but he's just like the fairways and how the Irish has he hits. That's going to take it all the way. And then his fitness. He works very hard at getting blows and endurance, and he's able to play. And he's just started, and the sky's the limit for him.
Okay, we'll go to Kira in the back row.
Hi, Tiger. You just said that you wouldn't be up in the tournament if you didn't think you would. From the PNC until now, could you just take us through your lifestyle, your day-to-day, actually get yourself to that point where you can sit your say that?
I hit balls basically all day. I had a neat little practice facility in my backyard, so I can do a little bit of work there and a little bit of progression. And I found the medals in the ball, and I've walked the golf course and play. And then I'll play, hop a cart when it gets a little tired. And then it's gone from a few holes to 9 holes to all back 9 and to 18 holes and go back home practice. So it's just a build up, and it's built up fantastic at this point. And then after this, let's analyze it and see what we need to do to get ready for this.
Go to Jim in the back and we'll get a microphone.
Jim, very good to see you. You've always had first knowledge, whether it's about golf, it's a game of life. What have you learned about yourself over the last year since you're active you didn't know before?
Well, I think that I've had an incredible support staff and people that have really helped me get to this point. It's hard physically, as we all know. I've had just great people around me. My training staff has allowed me to be stronger, more pliable, more endurance, and then just the great friendships I had. Toward these guys, it's me and egging on the banner back and forth, and it's incredible support. And I would never get to this point and back to support without support.
Have you walked 17 holes 4 days now?
No.
And do you ever see
Sure. Yeah.
And do you see a scenario when it's not so touching up when you might be able to depend on leg, or do you think it'll be a sign of day by day from friends?
As I'm saying, I'm not going to play full schedule, so I can choose my events and how many events I'm going to play. And I alluded to last year, part of the majors maybe more. And I play more, yes. Would it allow me to? I don't know. and I have to be realistic about that. So being realistic about the recovery and it's just about I know I'll be playing a full schedule, and I can choose what I'm going to play, and it's very limited, and so I put all energy to those events.
Tiger, anticipating the Masters, it's going to be the first time that you're in a room, in a group of LIV players. Wondering what that anticipation is like for you as far as how you may handle it, what your demeanor is going to be when you're home.
That's a great question. I don't know if I haven't run. Some of the players here have, and for instance, Rory's in Dubai, some of those players, and I don't know what that reaction is going to be. I know that some of our friendships have sort of taken a different path, but we'll see when all that transpires, and that is still a couple months away.
Is there maybe uncomfortable? Would you anticipate being uncomfortable?
Yeah, the Champions Dinner is going to be obviously something that's talked about. We as a whole need to honor Scotty. Scotty's the his dinner, and so making sure that Scotty is honored correctly. But all it isn't just the nature of it has transpired and the people who have left, and just where our situations are, legally, emotionally, there's a lot there.
Tiger, over the past month, Tom Brady retired. Now Rodgers is considering different sports, obviously, but do you relate or understand their plight at all, where they're walking away not necessarily because physical skill set diminished, because they feel they're not able to give?
Yeah, I didn't think that I would. There was a touch and go where I back after my back fusion. I don't know if I was going to walk again after that, and I came back and had a nice little run. Same with this leg. I didn't know I was going to play again, and I played 3 minutes last year. So, yes, you need a little more and you banged up, and you're not as into what you want for. And it's just a reality of all of this aging. Lower context, I don't know how they play as long as he did, and the level that he played at was phenomenal. I mean, we just have to just look at him as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as a kid growing up watching always speak and describe that I can do it, but my body will not do it anymore. He won the last 2 Super Bowls, he just could not physically do it anymore. And that's got a couple times where you kind of think about sport. I mean, there's no contact. I don't have your guys falling on top of me. It's just a matter of shooting a little core. So we have the ability to make choose to play a little longer, and we've seen. My all is hell playing 50 straight Masters. Okay, 50 straight. I'm not 50 years old yet. And he played 50 straight Masters. And he like Gary Player, who played 51 Masters. I mean, we're different sorts.
You feel grateful to be here?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. At what point in your career do you start to feel grateful to be out here? Not suggesting everything was right, maybe wise.
Probably I had some injuries early on in my career, but nothing like my experience with my back. And when my back went, those tough surgeries and stuff like that, I could power through me and the misses and ACL. I could power through that, but I could never power through my back. And that's when I realized that the mortality of the game and just sports in general. And I didn't think I was obviously immortal. It's what we all think as athletes, but there comes a point in time when a couple of my friends in the NFL, when we create a hit. You take one little flinch, I don't want to get hit. Well, I back, I went certain shots. I made up on it, and so that was tough.
Second one are expectations, which you can ignore, but they're still out there. So go back to like early 2000s, where if you're not out, you're in a slump, expectations from the right to later career where the expectations from somewhere you never went. Which one do you like more?
I look at that, me personally. I looked at if I had one for years. So there you go. Dylan.
Yeah, Tiger will designate events into the new look PGA Tour, and I was just curious how you think it's going and how different you think it'll feel up here.
We've had 3 already, and I think it's been received. There's obviously mixed emotions about it, but from a marketing side of it and from the tour side and the future of our sport, it's been very positive. And we need to keep going with it and keep staying aligned and keep progressing and making it better. We need to produce the best product we can to sell to all the viewers. And there's so many different directions out there now. There's so many different options that you have now. And so it's about creating the best product that have more eyes on it. We have more stars. People want to come out and either come out watching golf, participate either on social media or the different streaming platforms. Just the fact that they're able to watch our sport. So we know that create the product, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mixed emotions. They've gotten a chance to talk to guys that have different types of
absolutely. Everyone's can. And from players to players who are obviously have injuries, or the fact that you guys are dreaming or back and forth, yes, the whole gamut. There's mixed emotions. At the end of the day, we're trying to create the best product. And how we do that, that's what we're trying to do, and we're still figuring it out. And we have a lot of players aligned since the Miller meeting, and we're trying to create that atmosphere of across the board and understand that players need to be able to have access and ability to play at these elevated events. And how do we do that? We won't create the next stars. I was lucky enough to get a sponsor game 16 years old. And so is that possible in that new model? We need to create opportunities like that. So I looked back and I was able to play in this event, since we his event, or last his event. I got those opportunities very early in career, and we don't want the next stars to not have opportunities.
There is the Patrick Festival issue in the foot.
Yes.
As much of it.
But it's not as much, but it's better.
And with the LIV kind of came to a head here last year, looking back over the last year with the PGA Tour, it's not that you just talked about. Is LIV more of a threat?
Well, it's been a very, the last year since, if you go back to this Genesis last year to whereas now, we all have faced very turbulent. We never expected the golf to be in this situation, but it is. It's reality, and we're as we trying to create the best product. Obviously, they're a competitive organization trying to create the best product possible, and we're trying to create the best product that meets the future of golf, how it should be played. How we do that, we're still working on that, and we still put the top of the line, and how we support our world partners in the World Tour. We have top players and we play around the world, and again, create the best product possible. And it's been ebb and flow. It has been difficult. It's been no you've seen our ambassador where he goes through it. I mean, it's tough, and but it's exceptionally exceptional. Go through all that. I've been with him on all these conference calls and he's and for him to go and play and win, it's been incredible.
Tiger, along these same lines with the event, obviously this whole thing came together very quickly from last fall. Now a lot of things had happened to make this work, scheduling everything. One of the things on folks being discussed, at least the rumblings about, is making some of these limited fields, no cuts. Sounds like invitationals would be on the docket with that. Where do you stand on that? And also, would you have a say for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all that. It's been a variety of different models, different opinions, trying to figure out what is the best product in competitive environment and what we should do going forward. Yes, limited fields. What's the number? Cuts? Yes. Or what's the number? What do you go to? How many players are playing the event? There's the ability to get into the events. How is Jay able to sell our product to all different sponsors across the board? There's so much give and take, and it's still ongoing. I mean, it really has. It's been difficult. A lot of players are very forthright, which is great. That's what it should be. We are an organization, and so we should have the ways to but we're trying to have our pressure create what he can solve so that all of us can have.
Go back to your first tournament here as an amateur. What are you thinking? Hey, I have to prove myself that I'm deserving of this, or just going out and just playing golf normally?
Well, a couple things I realized that one I've never seen as many first rate balls that were non-strike. Able to hit those brand new models I normally find in crates and stuff and use in tournaments. And then here, and then I shoot 72, 75-ish somewhere, I remember. I was like 17 back of Davis. So I realized that, yes, there's a serious gap. Could I have played a little bit better? Yeah, I probably played 4 or 5 shots better, but I was not that good. And realized I could get back to golf and get better, back better. Shooting off, hopefully playing more events. I was going to do that mission that and all last games. And I'll get opportunities to figure it out where I need you go. And it allowed me better in the junior events and the other events to have more success because I experienced what I need to do out here compared to Brandon and how he went about their business.
Tiger, you referenced Arnie and 5 plus Masters. Is there any part of your kind of DNA that will allow you to enjoy it?
Sorry.
Like, in turn golf, you reference like history of the game with other people. If you're 60 and you wake with the irrational belief in this turn, could you still win it?
I have not come on the idea of being. If I'm playing to win, okay? I know that players play and they are masters of the game and try to win the game. I can't have my mind. I can't wrap my mind around that as a competitor. I'm playing that. I'm going to try to do. I'm there to get a W. So I don't understand that making it a great thing. If they are the event, it was to get a W. And there will come a time when my body will not allow me to do that anymore. And it's probably later. Wrap my head around that transition and being master role and just playing and just trying to battle with the guys. That's not in my DNA. In master role and hosting events like this, hosting the Genesis Invitational, or if you're doing those things, I totally did. But as a player, I have to have around the player. From a player standpoint, I'm going to get a W.
One question from you. Okay. When people write you off, how much of a motivation factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career, yes. But I don't think that it hasn't later in the middle of my career and the last side of my career. It was honestly, can I actually do this still? As I was doing with Doug Harris, I accomplished it tough. That proving myself more than anything that I could still do it. Starts at home, starts in practice, starts with guys, starts playing 18 holes, and then come here and have the belief and do it. And ultimately, it's within me, and when I can do it, and it's not one fighter outside. It used to be. I really did. But that's what's the later of my career.
Okay, thank you for the time. We really appreciate it, and thank you for hosting. Everybody stay put. We'll have Carl Ziffert and more redemption back at the Monday. Everybody, I'm host of the Genesis TGL Golf. So Tiger, we know you're a PGA Tour TGL Golf this week, but I think we're curious as to what other aspects went into your decision of trying to actually compete this week.
Well, I know less we play. What the play wasn't here on was the main question. And I've been, as I told you guys, I worked down at Bureau, and last night I can do everything and golf and do a lot of stuff. It's I had it in my life, and we went super good. And the coverage was great. So I'm excited to be able to compete and play here at Riviera. We're basically all so I'm excited to play tomorrow and get a piece of for it. A little older than I thought. So get used to that and get ready for Thursday.
Before we take questions, as you mentioned, we're back into the shot recently. Just when you look now and the young kids from your foundation being involved, you just talk to the direction of your foundation and institutions.
Yeah, just have our techniques of our lab to come here and experience this and to see how their lives impact because of it. Because of the support from Justin and everyone here and me and our STEM programs all benefit from this event. And to have kids that have watched this event have been through our STEM programs to be able to have the ability to come out here and learn about the world, play golf, but also showcase what your confidence and we have developed into. In some conversations that some players have had with our past attendees from the lab, it's incredibly inspiring.
Okay, we'll just make sure everybody, if you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll try and get through the panels out. Jeff and
Tyler, can you just a little more specificity on what it is physically that you needed to overcome to get play? And then on a lighter note, LeBron bringing the tournament last week. Curious if you have thoughts on the golf record, sort of an equivalent of the season points title.
Okay. As far as the recovery is more like Michael. When I recover from day to day, the leg is better than it was last year, but it's Michael. And so being able to have it recover from day to day and then being also stress it, but have recovery and also have strength development at the same time. It's a little balance we've had against, but it's gotten much better in the last couple months. And if I had to go out there and compete with these guys, I would not have put my stuff out here if I had and win the event. That's my mentality, and if I was ready to win it, I'm very rusty. But from rusty situations from down the lane, I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics and practice and build up the muscle side of the golf course. I haven't had on the golf course, but I knew what practice for. Shots to hit was that game. And as far as the raw record, what he accomplished is it's incredible of just the durability, the consistency, and the long day. I never thought, I remember watching Green here, never thought I'd walk, but he was the cat. That's all I remember, the records and watching Cap, I never thought was in and that record we never thought would be surpassed. But what reminds me, also the minutes he's playing, those are at that age, and he's on, he'll play a lot of position, that never been done before, and it's all physical. And as far as our equivalent to that, I don't know, you look at me as at 82. It takes a career to get to those numbers, and that's how I think probably best to look at it.
I would have talk about state of game and how to impact you for playing in another.
Yeah, as you watch it, I was able to take part in shots and do whatever I wanted, but I had the endurance in my ankle, and so we've been working on it. And it's where I still have shots, but it's still walking endurance. So it's hard. That's something we've had to work on and walk on this is the beach and stay stress it out. And also recover by the next day and see how it is information-wise and keep practicing. I may have overdone a couple times here and there, but here.
Being from Norway, I about a guy who's done really well here at Colin. One of the here who's done really well. Just your thoughts on him as a player and how far he can go.
This guy's an unforgiving. The way he drives it, he doesn't really have any weaknesses in the game. I mean, initially, probably the short game playing, that's turned around. He's starting to work with that. Which is he strikes the ball. I know it's not one of the longer armors out there. He's just the kind of fairways and how many good irons he hits. That's going to take a long way. And then his fitness, he works very hard at being equal system endurance and he's play. And I think he's just getting started and the side of the form.
Hi, Tiger. You just said that you wouldn't tee it up in the tournament if you didn't think that you could win. With the PNC until now, could you just take us through your lifestyle and your day-to-day, actually get yourself to that point where you can sit your confidence say that?
I hit balls. Big balls every day. I had a little practice in my backyard, so I can do a little work work there and a little progression. And out of the medals and balls, I've walked off course and play. And then I'll play. I'll have a cart when they get tired. And then it's just gone from a few holes to 9 holes to all back 9 and then to 18 holes and go home practice. So it's just up. And it's built up. Fantastic to get to this point. And then after this event, analyze and see what you do to get ready for this.
Good to see you. You've always had a thirst for knowledge, what it is about golf, just the game of life. What have you learned about yourself over the last year since your accident and you did it before?
Well, I think I had an incredible support staff and people that have really have helped me get to this point. It's been hard physically, as we all know, but I've had this great people around me. My training staff has allowed me to get this point. I've gotten stronger, more pliable, more turns, and then just the great friendships I had. Even these guys texting me, making me on, and the back and forth, and it's incredible sport. And I would never have got this point without their support.
Tiger, you walked 17 holes 4 days in a row?
No.
And do you ever see a sure? Yeah. And then, do you see a scenario when it's not such a maybe it's 10 later, you think it will be this time day by day thing for
As I've been saying, I'm going to be playing schedule, so I can choose my event and how many events I'm going to play. And I last year, the majors, they become more. And I'd like to play more, yes. Will it allow me to? I don't know. And I can be realistic about that. So being realistic about the recovery, the training, and no, it's just I'm not playing full schedule, and I want to play in very limited, and so I put all my those events.
Tiger, anticipating Masters, it's going to be the first time that you're in a room, in a group with LIV players. Wondering what that anticipation is like for you as far as how you may handle it
what your demeanor is going to be when you're around them?
Of course, I don't know if I have been around them. Some of the players out here have, and for instance, we're at Dubai, and some of the players, and I don't know. I don't know what that reaction will be. I know that some of our friendships have started taking a different path, but we'll see when all that transpires. That's still a month away.
Maybe is there meaningful? Do you anticipate it meaningful?
Yeah, there's going to be obviously something that pop out. We as a whole need to honor society. Guys when it's his dinner. So making sure that this guy is honored correctly, also realizing just the nature of what has transpired and the people that we have, and just where our situations are, either legally, emotionally, there's a lot there.
Take over the past month, sorry, retired Aaron Rodgers is considering different sports, obviously, but can you relate or understand the play at all? Not necessarily because physical skills diminish, but because I feel like nothing more to give.
Yeah, I think that I would. There's such a good way back after my back fusion. I don't know if I was going to walk in after that. I came back and had a nice little run. Same with Leg. I didn't know if I was going to play, and I played 3 years last year. So, yes, when you get a little older and you get a little banged up, it just hasn't been as you before, and that's just how they have all this aging. Most of our contact sport, I don't know how they played as long as he did, and the level that he played at was phenomenal. I mean, we just have to just look at it as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as a kid, when I was watching John Elway speak, and just cried that I can do it, but I don't want to do it anymore. Even in a lot of Super Bowls, but he just couldn't physically do it anymore. And that's got to that point a couple times where you kind of think about the sport. I mean, there's no contact. I don't figure out how guys stop me. It's just a matter of shooting a low score. So we have the ability to make play longer, and we've seen. I hear Arnold Palmer and all this. I've played 50 straight Masters. Okay, 50 straight, not 50 years old yet, and played 50 straight Masters. And you've got Gary Merritt playing 51 Masters. We're different sports.
Yes. Okay. Yes. At what point in your career did you start to feel grateful to be here? Not suggesting everything, but you know what I mean?
Probably it has been years early on in my career, but nothing like what I experienced when I went back. And when I went back, and those tough surgeries and tough rehabs, and I could power through, my knee, the meniscus, and no ACL, and I could power through that. I could never power through my back, and that's what I really like the mortality of the game and sports in general. And I didn't think I was more disloyal thing as athletes, but this was the time when a couple of in the NFL when we become afraid to get hit. You take that one little flinch of I don't get hit. Well, when I had I didn't want to hit certain shots because I'm young, and so that was.
I want to ask about our expectations, which you ignore, but they're still out there. So if you go back to like early 2000s, where if you went a month without winning, you were in some expectations that made to later in your career, the expectations from some of you didn't win. Which one do you hear more?
Me personally, I looked at the fact that I had 3 years. So there you go.
Yeah, Tiger Woods designated events into the new PGA Tour, and I was just curious how you think it's going and how different you think it feels out there.
Yeah, we've had the 3 already, and I think it's been received. There's obviously mixed emotions about it, but from a working side and from the tour side and the future of our sport, it's been very positive, and we need to keep going with it and keep staying in line and keep progressing and make it better. We need to produce this product we can to sell to all the dealerships. And there's so many different distractions out there now. There's so many different options that you have now, and so it's about us creating the products that we have more eye on. We have more stars. People want to come out and either watch the game to participate, either on social media or different streaming platforms. Just have to be able to watch our sport. So in order to do that, we have to create the best product, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mixed emotions, so you got a chance to talk to guys that have different types of
emotions. It runs the gamut. From top players to players who are obviously have injuries, or the fact that you have guys who are journeymen or back and forth. Yes, the gamut. That's mixed emotions. At the end of the day, we create the product, and how we do that. That's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to figure it out, and have a lot of players in mind. It's the ability, and we're trying to create that atmosphere of across the board and understand that players need to be able to have access and the ability to play these competitions. How do we do that? We need to create the dollars. I was like nothing else. I was 6 years old, and so is that possible in that new model? We need to create opportunities like that. So I look back, and I got lucky. I was able to play this event. Arnold asked me to play his event. Arnold asked me to play his event. So I got those opportunities early in my career, and we don't want stars to not have those opportunities.
Tiger, is the punter fast guys issue in the foot?
Yes. No, it's not. No, it's better.
And the LIV kind of came ahead here last year. Looking back over the last year with the PGA Tour, is one of the things you just talked about. Is LIV more of a threat, less of a threat?
Well, it's been the year since, if you go back to the switch last year, where it's now, we all have to say it's been very turbulent. We never have a game off to be in this situation, but it is. That's the reality, and we're absolutely to create the best product. Obviously, they're a competitive organization trying to get the best product we can, and we're trying to get the best product that we think fits how it should play. How we got this working on, and we have top players on, and how do we support our world partners in the World Tour. We have our top players in the world, and getting create the best product possible. And it's been an ebb and flow. It really has. It's been a line. You've seen our ambassador Rory go through. I mean, it's been tough on, and but it's definitely an exceptional deal. We're all that. I've been going all these conference calls and see sightings, and for him about to play and win, it's incredible.
Tiger, along the same lines with the designated events, obviously this whole thing came together very quickly from last fall. Now a lot of things had to happen, make it work, scheduling everything. One of the things going forward that's being discussed, at least there's rumbling about, is making some of these limited fields, no cuts. It sounds like Invitational will be on the dock for that. Where do you stand on that? And also, would you have a say in it for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all that out. It's been a variety of models, different opinions, trying to figure out what is the best product in competitive environment and what we should do forward. Yes, limited fields, what's the number? That's yes. Or no, what's the number? What do we go to? How many players playing it? There's okay, what is the ability to get into that event? What is it? How do we sell our product to all the different sponsors across the board? There's so much in the cake, and it's still ongoing. And it's difficult. A lot of players are very forthright, which is great. That's what it should be. We're a players organization, so yes, we should have the voice. And all we'll try to help our fisher create what we can tell, so that all of us can do it.
Going back to your first tournament here as an amateur, what do you think? Are you thinking, hey, I have to prove myself that I'm deserving of this, or just going out to play off normally?
Well, there's a couple things I realized. Number one, I've never seen as many straights that were non-strike. Able to hit those brand new levels I refined in creeks and stuff and use tournaments. And then come out here and then I shoot 72, 75 somewhere there. I was like 17 back of Davis. So I realized that, yes, there's a very good gap. I could have a little bit, yes, I could probably play 4 or 5 shots better, but I wasn't that good. And realized I need to go back to golf and get better there, get back better at junior golf, hopefully play in a couple more events. I was going to do that. Mr. Wilson asked me to play this event, Ron asked me to play this event. And so I'm looking at opportunities that I've kind of figured out where I need to go. And it allowed me to get better in junior events, in the events, I'll have more success because I got the experience I need to do out here. Impact their brain, watch how they went about their business.
Tiger, you for Arnie and Gary playing 55 Masters. Is there any part of your embedded DNA that would allow you to enjoy? But like, it's tournament golf. So, you reference the game and all those people. If you're 60 and you have the actual belief I can win the tournament, could you still enjoy any of it?
I don't. I have come on to the idea of being. If I'm playing, I'm playing to win. Okay. I know that players played and they are ambassador of the game and try to grow the game. I I can't have my mind around as a competitor. If I'm playing that, I'm not going to train you. I'm there to get at you. Okay, so I don't understand that making a cut's a great thing. If I hear that it's used to get at you, and there will come a point in time my body will not like it anymore, and it's sooner or later. But I'm not around that tradition and being a master role and just playing and just trying to be the guys. That's not in my DNA. Master role and hosting events like this, hosting the Genesis Invitational, or if you're really good at those things, I totally get it. But as a player, I flip that around into a player. From a player standpoint, I'm here to W.
Okay, we'll take one question. Ben, run you. Okay. When people write you off, how much of a motivational factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career, yes. But I don't think that it has been late in my career and back in my career. It was, can I actually do this? So, as linked to Doug here, this is the last person tough. That proved myself more than anything that I could still do it. Starts at home, starts practice, starts with guys, starts playing people, and then I'm here having to believe I can do it. And ultimately, it's with me, and when I believe I can do it, and it's not the money factor outside. It used to be. Obviously, back towards the later part of my career.
Okay, so thank you for the time. Maybe stay with Charles redemption. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Todd. Former host of the Genesis Invitational, as we all know. We all know your TGI mission benefits this week, but we're all curious to kind of what other aspects of your decision of trying to execute this.
Well, I listen to play, whether I listen to it or not, was the main question. And I've been, as I told some of you guys that were down at Hero, and if I was like, I do the ringer thing, and so I can hit golf balls and do that stuff. It's kind of what I have endurance like, and we've been sure to be good, and they were covered Saturday, it was great. So I'm excited to be able to keep play and play here at Riviera, where it's going to all start. So I'm excited to get out there and play tomorrow, and I get a little team feel. Older, I thought. I'm used to that, and get ready for it.
The question, just you mentioned where it all started, and you hit that on the t-shirt, everybody saw the videos everywhere. Just when you look at now, and the youngsters from your foundation being involved, can you talk about the progression of your foundation and the situation where it is now?
Yeah, to have all our attendees of the Learning Lab to come out here and experience this and see how their lives have impacted because of this event, because of the support from Genesis and everyone here and all the programs all benefit from this event, and to have the kids that watch this event have been through our SAM programs to be able to have the ability to come here and look at the best players in the world play golf, but also showcase what the confidence they have developed into. And some of the conversations that some of the players I had with our past attendees from bringing up and to see this playing.
Okay, just make sure that everybody, if you have questions, just raise your hand. We'll try to do as we'll start with Jeff in the back.
Can you just a little more specificity on what it is physically that you need to overcome to be able to play? And then on a lighter note, LeBron breaking the scoring record last week. Curious if you have thoughts on that, any golf record that's sort of equivalent of the regular season points type.
Okay. As far as the recovery, it's more like my ankle. Whether or not you recover from day to day, leg is better than it was last year, but it's my ankle. And so being able to have it recover from day to day and we also stress it, but have recovery and still have strength development at the same time, it's going to intricate little balance of independence, but he's gotten much better in the last months, and I'm excited to go out there and compete and play these guys. I would not put myself out here if I could beat that and wouldn't do that. That's my mentality, and if I was ready to win at this level, I know I'm busy. But I've come off from adversity situations before, done well, and I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics practice. And the also I know this golf course. I might have had a lot of success on this golf course, but I knew what to practice for, shots to hit, once I won't get ready. And as far as the LeBron record, it's what he accomplished is incredible. Just the durability to see, and the longevity. I never thought, I grew up watching Korean and never saw that walking, but he was the cat. That's all I remember, the China Lakers, and watched Cat down with the goggles in the sky, and that record never thought would be passed. But also the amount of minutes he's playing, moves are about that pitch, and he's done in all 5 positions, and that's never done before, and I just love it as well. And as far as our equivalent to that, I mean, you look at me some, no, they do. Yeah, it takes a career to get to those numbers, and that's how I think probably that's how we look at it.
I would PNC tell you about the state of your game and how to impact your prep for playing in another event.
Yes, you watch that PCI. I was at that cart and shots and but I just had the endurance in my ankle, and so we work on it, and it came to where I can still hit the silly shots. It's the walk endurance that's hard. That's something we had to work on and walk on. This is the beach, and just stress out, but also to recover by the next day and see how it is information-wise, and practicing. And I'm having a couple times here and there, but here.
I'm from Norway. I just asked about a guy going really well there, Calvin. Well, here, really well at bombs. And just your thoughts on him as a player and as a person. How far you go?
This guy's an underfooter. The way he plays it, he doesn't have any weaknesses in the game. I mean, initially it was probably his short body, but that's turned around. He's done some really good work with that. Just the way he strikes the golf ball. I know he's not one of the longer bombers out there, but you just look at how many fairways and how many iron shots he hits. That's taken a long way. And then his fitness, he works very hard at getting goals in this endurance and playing. He's just getting started, and this guy's in form.
Hi, Tiger. You said that you wouldn't tee it up in the tournament if you didn't think you could win. From the PNC until now, could you just give us through your lifestyle and your day-to-day to actually get yourself to that point where you can sit here and say that?
I hit balls basically almost every day. I got a little practice in my backyard, so I can do a little short game work there and a little progression, and I'll come to the balls, I'll walk off course, I play, and then I'll play, I'll hop hard, and it's tired. And then it's gone from a few holes to 9 holes to all the back 9 and into 8 holes and back home practice. So it's a build up, and it's built up fast to get to this point. And then after this event, we'll analyze it and see what we need to do to get ready to
You've always had a thirst for knowledge, whether it's about golf or just in life. What have you learned about yourself over the last year since your accident? Maybe you didn't know before.
Well, I think that I've had incredible support staff and people that have really helped me to this point. It's been hard physically, as we all know, but I've had good people running my training staff has allowed me to get this running strong, more pliable, get more endurance, and then just the great friendship I've had. Where these guys text me and hang on and banter back and forth. The same type of support, and I would not have had this one back without their support.
It's like you walk 72 holes 4 in a row.
No.
Have you ever seen a scenario? Yeah. And then, do you see a scenario where it's not touch and go when you get to 10 on the ladder? Do you think it'll be this kind of day-by-day thing for
Like I've been saying, I'm going to be playing full schedule, so I can choose my events and how many nights I'm playing. And last year, it's going to be the majors and maybe a couple more. And but I'd play more, yes. Will it allow me to? I don't know. And I have to be realistic about that. So being realistic about recovering the training and. No, it's just about I'm not playing, a full schedule, and I got to pick and choose and want to be playing. It's very limited, and so I'm all energy to those guys.
Tiger, anticipating Masters, I'm assuming first time you're in a room, in a group with LIV players. Wondering what that anticipation is like for you as far as how you may handle it, what your demeanor is going to be when you're around them.
That's a question because I don't know what the players out here have, and for instance, worries at Dubai, also the players, and I don't know what the reaction to be. I know that some of our friendships have certainly taken a different path, but we'll see when all that arrives, and that's still a months away.
Maybe uncomfortable. You anticipate it being uncomfortable?
Yeah, it's going to be obviously it's this. talked about. We as a whole need to honor Scotty. So Scotty's doing his there, and so make sure that Scotty gets honored correctly. But also realizing just the nature of what has transpired and what we have and just what our situations are, either legally, emotionally, there's a lot there.
Like over the past month, Tom Brady right now, Rogers considering different sports obviously, but can you relate or understand their play at all, where they're walking away not necessarily because their physical skill set, but because they feel like they have anything more to give?
Yeah, I didn't think that I would. There's a thing that I do after my back fusion. I didn't know if I was going to walk again after that, and I had a nice little run. Same with this leg. I didn't know if I was going to play again. I played 3 years last year. So, yes, when you get a little older and you're more banged up, you're not as in you much more. And it's just a reality of also aging. Those are context sports. I don't know how they play. Tom playing as long as he did, the level that he played at was phenomenal. And we just have to just look at it as an outlier of how great that was. And I remember as they were watching Ron speak and just tried that I could do it, but body won't let me do it anymore. Even the last 2 Super Bowls, but he just could not do it anymore. And that's I've got to the point a couple times where you kind of think about sport, contact. I forget how it's falling on me. It's just a matter of showing score. But we have the ability to choose to play a little longer. And we've seen my here on Hall was hell, he played 50 straight Masters. Okay? 50 straight, I'm 50 years old yet. And he played 50 straight Masters. And you look at Gary Blair, who played 51 Masters. We're different sports.
You feel grateful to be here?
Yes.
Yes. At what point in your career did you start to feel grateful to be out here? Not suggesting you're grateful, but injury-wise.
Probably, I had some surgeries early on in my career, but nothing like my experience with my back. And when my back went, those tough surgeries and tough rehabs, and I could power through my knee and the meniscus and no ACL, and I could power that. I could never power through my back. And that's what I realized, the mortality of this game and just sports in general. And I didn't think I was obviously immoral. That's what we all think as athletes. But there's a point in time, a couple of friends in the NFL, when you're too afraid to hit. You need to take that one flinch shot. I don't want to get hit. Well, right back, I didn't want to hit 3rd shots because I made up on the ground. And so that was tough.
The second thing I want to ask are expectations, which you can ignore, but they're out there. So if you go back to like early 2000s, where if you went a month without winning, you were in a slump. The expectations were great. For your career, were expectations from somebody you didn't win. Which one do you hear more?
Well, I look at me personally. I look at I haven't won in 3 years. So there you go.
Yes, there were a couple designated events into the new look tour, and I was curious how you're going and how did you think it'll feel for you?
Yeah, we've had it already, and I think received. There's often discussions about it, but from a marketing side of it, from the tool side and the future of our sport, it's been very positive, and we keep going with and keep staying aligned and keep progressing and making it better. We need to do the best product we possibly can to sell all the viewerships. And there's way better directions out there now. There's options you have now, and so it's us creating the best products that we have in our eyes on it. We have more stars. People want to come out and either watch the game off, let's say, on social media or the different platforms. Just the fact that they're able to watch our board. So in order to do that, we have to create that product, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mixed emotions. Have you gotten a chance to talk to guys that have different types of
emotions? Absolutely. It runs the gamut. And from top players to players who are, obviously have injuries or that you have guys who are driven or back and forth. Yes, I've talked to the gamut. There's mixed emotions. At the end of the day, we're going to do that product. And how we do that, that's what we're trying to do. We're still figuring it out. And we have a lot of top players online since the meeting. And we were trying to create that across the board and understand players need to be able to have access and the ability to play these events and how we do that. We want to create the next stops. I was lucky enough to sponsor 15 years, 16 years old. And so is that possible in that new model? We need to create opportunities like that. So I look back and I'm lucky I'll be able to play this event. Byron Nelson has me playing the event, or I'll be playing his event. So I have those opportunities very in my career, and we don't want the next stars to not have those opportunities.
Tiger, is the plan fest an issue at all?
Yes.
With the LIV Golf came to a head here last year. Look back over last year with what PGA Tour has done. Things you talked about. Is LIV more of a threat, less of a threat?
Yeah, the last year since we like this was last year too. Whereas now we all have the same sort of record. Never expected the game to be in this situation, but that's reality. And we're looking to try and create that product there. Kind of organization trying to get best product and we're trying to get the best product that we think future golf how it should be created. How we do that, we're still working on it. And we have to be other top players that are online and how we support our world partners in the team tour. We have top players and we around the world and again create this product possible. And it's been inevitable. It's been difficult. It's been like you've seen our master Rory go through it in the telephone, and this is exceptional. Build all that. I've been on all these calls and these sites, and for him about playing, it's been incredible.
Tiger, along these same lines with the designated events, obviously this whole thing came together very quickly from last fall. Now, a lot of things had to happen to make this work, the schedule and everything. One of the things going forward that's being discussed, at least there's rumblings about, is making some of these limited fields and cuts. Sounds like individuals will be on the topic of that. Where do you stand on that? And also, would you have a say in it for this tournament?
We are in the process of figuring all out, and it's been a variety of models, different things, trying to figure out what is the best competitive environment and what we should move forward. Yes, limited fields, what's the number? Cuts, yes. Or what's the number we go to? How many players are playing that? There is, what is the ability to end the events? How is Jay able to sell our product to all the different sponsors across the board? There's so much to take, and it's still ongoing. It really is. It's difficult. A lot of players are forthright, which is great. That's what it should be. We're a player from our organization, and so yes, we should have the most to say, but we're trying to help our commissioner create what gets all to benefit.
Going to your first tournament here as an amateur, what are you thinking? You thinking, hey, I have to prove myself that I'm deserving of this, or are you just going to swing golf normally?
Well, there's a couple things I realized. One I've never seen as many fresh balls that were non-struck. Be able to hit those brand new balls and normally find in creeks and stuff and use in tournaments. And then come out here and then I should say he was 5 somewhere in there. I remember it was a 17 back of face. So I realized that yes, there's a disparity in the gap. Could I have played a little bit? Yes, I could have played 4 better, but I was not that good. And realized I got to high school golf and get there, back there, junior golf, hopefully play more events. I was looking to that missions, national playing event, so I'm getting opportunities to kind of figure it out where to go. And it allowed me to get better in junior events and amateur events. I was going to have more stuff because I could just experience what I need to do out here. Pick their brain and watch how they went about business.
Like you referenced Arnie and Gary playing 50+ Masters. Is there any part of your competitive DNA that would allow you to enjoy? But like in tournament golf, is there any reference like to game golf people? If you're 60 and you wake up with the irrational belief fighting tournament, do you still enjoy it?
I have not come to the idea of being. If I'm not playing, I'm playing to win. Okay, I know that players that play and they are masters of the game and try to the game. I can't have mind. I can't wrap my mind around that as a competitor. If I'm not playing, I'm going to try to beat you. I'm there to get a W. Okay, so I do understand that make a thing. If I hear that it wants to get a W, and there will come a time when I'm not allowed anymore, and it's far too later. But my head around that transition and being a master role and just playing and just trying to get guys, that's not my DNA. Master role and hosting events like this and hosting the Genesis Invitational or hero those things, I just win it. But a player, I flip my hat around and a player. From a player standpoint, yeah, I'm not going to get a W.
Okay, we'll take one more question. Tiger, when How much of a motivational factor is that for you?
It used to be early on in my career, yes. I think that hadn't later in part of my career and backside of my career, it hasn't. It was honestly had to do so. As I was alluding to with here, is the back operation a little tough. That proved to myself more than anything that I could still do it. Starts at home, starts in practice, starts with guys, play 18 holes, and then come out here and having the belief I can do it. And ultimately, it's within me, and I can do it. And it's not the motivating factor outside. It used to be. I certainly did, but that's towards the later part of my career.
Okay, thank you for the everybody say put passed it exemption. Welcome everybody and welcome Thomas, former host of the Genesis Invitational as we all know. Also Tiger, you know that you're a PGA Tour benefit this week. I think we're all curious as to kind of other aspects and your decision of trying to be competing this week.
Well, the plan was to play, whether I would listen to it or not, was the same question. And I've been, as I told you guys, we're down at the Hero, and for the night, I keep range breaking, and so I can help and do all that stuff. It's better when I have endurance in my life, and we've been pushing pretty good, and good recovery, damage rate. So I'm excited about being able to compete and play, and here at Riviera, we're basically all start. So I'm excited to get out and play and tomorrow, and get a nice little taste for it. Colder than I thought, so I'll get used to that and get ready for it.
Before the questions that you mentioned, where it all started, and to open t-shirt, everyone's all that videos everywhere. Just when you look at now and young kids from around the nation being involved, can you just look at the progression of the and situation where it is now?
Yes, to have some of our attendees are really allowed to come out here and experience this and to see how their lives have been impacted because of the sport from Genesis and everyone here and me and all our STEM programs all benefit from this event, and to have the kids that have watched this event have been through our STEM programs to be able to have the ability to come out here and look at the best players in the world playing golf, but also showcase what their confidence and what they have developed into. And some of the conversations that some of the people have had with our past attendees from the Learning Lab, it's incredibly inspiring.
Terrific. Okay, just know everybody, if you have a question, just raise your hand, try to get towards the camera with Jeff in the back.
Dr. Things, could you just specificity on what it is that you needed to kind of overcome to be able to play? And then on a lighter note, LeBron breaking the scoring record last week. Curious if you have thoughts on that, any golf record that's sort of equivalent of the regular season points.
As far as the recovery score, my ankle, whether I can recover from day to day, the leg is better than it was last year, but it's my ankle. And so being able to recover from day to day and meanwhile still stress it about recovery and so development at the same time is good. It will balance. We've had things, but it's kind of much better in the last couple months. And excited to go out and compete and play these guys. I would not have put myself out here if I didn't compete in the event. That's I'm Nelly and I wasn't ready to. And when it's all, I'm very rusty. But I've come off from rusty situations before I've done well, and I've had to utilize a lot of those tactics in practice and build up. And plus, also on those golf course, I know I haven't had much success on those golf courses, but I knew I could practice for. Shots hit wasn't home right. And as far as the LeBron record, what he accomplished is it's incredible of the durability, consistency, and the longevity. I never thought I grew up watching career and never saw him play at Milwaukee, but he was the cat.